Think about ba 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 da da. Ooh, all I seem to think about, baby. Da. Uh, what's happening, man? Uh, 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 uh. Remember just when we lovers, no one in my life, and I'm tired of being undercover. You keep my feelings tonight. The sky is slow, the stars are bright. What's better than to be in flight? I relax my mind and be at ease. And let this spirit set me free. Set me free. Spread my wings and fly away to a place that I long for. In my heart will be the pathway searching for forevermore. I often wonder how I manage, always searching but not finding the truth. There's no take for family lover, wanna navigate me too far. The sky is calm, the stars are bright. What's better than to be in flight? I relax my mind, be at ease, and let this journey set me free. Set me free, set me free. Spread my wings, oh, fly away to a place that I long for. My heart will be the pathway searching for forevermore. Man, you don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about that. That's that. Man, that was whew, that was that was whew, those was the days, man. Those was the days. Those was the days, man. Those was the days. Those are the days, Jack. Same for you, baby. Lovely. No one above it. Girl, you keep going on. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. You're the reason why I'm singing this song. Red, a violet's blue. Who cares if I'm not with you? Could I let us run away? Only two of us to stay. Oh, face, you warm embrace, light up in the room. We got to do an R&B song R&B show one day. That I want to say, hey, yeah, hello, no, Love. I gotta. We gotta do an R&B song. We gotta do an R&B show one day, man. We might have to do it on Rumble, man. Just play the oldies, man. I don't stream y'all. Stream y'all not good for that, man. I need an app. I need an app, man. I need an app, man. I need an app that supports playing music. Do y'all know any app that supports streaming music? 'Cause we gotta do a Rumble R&B jam session, man. Or not just R&B, just any music. Salute, salute to my man, Mr. Jake the Great, man, in the building. Do a special show about rap. Uh, yeah, man. Hit that like button, man. Smash that like. We need a lot of likes, man. Uh, we need a lot of likes, man.
I do not think we've ever had an election with candidates who understand freedom so differently. For Donald Trump and his cronies, freedom means that the powerful can do whatever they please. That's his definition of freedom. I want to fire workers for trying to organize a union. I should be free to do so. You know, they want the freedom to throw out votes if they lose an election. They want to control what women can and can't do to their bodies.
They're literally projecting so hard, man. God, he projects so much.
In other words, for Trump, freedom is getting away with stuff. And it's like,
yo, man, I'm tired of them talking so much shit about Trump, man. This guy's a rat. This guy's a piece of crap, man. He's a slithering snake. He up here talking about Trump. Trump's a great man, man. Trump's a great man, a good guy. You're the snake in the grass. You're the weasel. You're the weasel. Barack.
like he said in the middle of the pandemic, when he said, I do not take any responsibility at all. I'm not sure any American president has ever uttered those words other than Donald Trump. I do not take any. People were dying. Hospitals overrun. I do not take any responsibility at all. That's his idea of freedom. I do what I want, and I'm not responsible for anything. We have a broader idea of freedom. We believe in the freedom to provide for our families if we're willing to work, the freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water, the freedom to send our kids to school without worrying if they'll come home safely. We believe that true freedom gives each of us the right to make decisions about our own lives, how we worship, who we marry, what our family looks like. And we also believe that freedom requires us to recognize that other people have the freedom to make different choices.
Jesus. What a pompous piece of shit.
I do not think we've ever had
up there talking about Trump like that, man. I'm tired of them talking shit about Trump like that, man. It goes unchecked. All the shit they talk about Trump goes unchecked. They be talking some crazy shit. They be talking crazy. And that what he just said was crazy, man. Twisted. Oh, you got me twisted. Everything you need tonight. What you wanna do? Baby, baby, in time. Baby, in time. Baby, I know you'll find. I know you'll find. What you need is you.
You don't want her to win the White House, but do you agree with how she performed in that interview?
I believe that interview was a masterclass in why there is a statistically significant amount of Black men who are tired of listening to the media and done entertaining the Democratic Party. You listen to Kamala Harris talk about a plan for Black America. They've rolled out a plan for Black America. My grandfather told me a very long time ago, never trust a man who promises to do tomorrow what they had the power to do yesterday. If Kamala Harris was so committed to these plans for Black men in particular, she's had many instances where she could have done these things as a senator, as an attorney general, and certainly in her capacity as a vice president. So I do believe that when you have that type of interview, talking about a multi-trillion-dollar plan for reparations, all while we ignore the fact that California has already studied reparations, only for the Democrats that said they were committed to passing it, to saying everyone actually going to write the check. Black men are tired of what appears to be empty promises coming from a Democratic Party.
I mean, Joe, if you're honest with yourself, I'm sure there's some times where you would appreciate if your candidate would be more quote unquote scripted.
Look, I think there's a few things happening here, right? I've said it many times on this network. Vice President Kamala Harris, she wants to have her Kate and Edith too. She wants to have all the good things that come from the Biden administration. She wants to leave all the bags of the Biden administration behind her. I think if you're just looking at the core issues pertaining to the Black community, the civil rights issue of our time is education. Democrats have nominated a woman who is against school choice. They have a vice presidential candidate who is against school choice. And you have the gatekeeper for a large voter bloc that didn't ask any real questions about the civil rights issue of our time. To say that we have schools where 80% of Black children cannot read at proficient levels all across this country. And so it is a scourge that is preventing Black men from getting the tools they need in their young life to move forward. And I think if there are a lot of Black people who are saying Democrats have told us that Donald Trump is terrible, but I'm not going to allow my vote to be taken hostage by a party that continues to not deliver results every time I place my trust in their hands.
He did have a record low for Black
Yeah,
unemployment.
I would just simply say that to that point, right? I think we have to dispense with some of the talking points here. Certainly, there is a fair way to interpret it and to interpret facts, irrespective of whether you're a Republican or Democrat. The fact remains, pre-COVID, we had 7 million new jobs created. We had record low unemployment for Black Americans. And I think even if you move beyond, all the conjecture, when you look at what Black men are really moved by, they're moved by the fact that the Democratic Party is not actually treating them fairly. That you had the only Black Republican man in the Senate who ran for president being called the equivalent of a slave that Harriet Tubman should have left behind. and no one lost their job, and not a single person was fired. And so I appreciate that Sherwin says that it's good to live in America where Black men can voice their opinion independent of somebody telling them how to do so. But it is quite clear that from many people on the cable news that they have been given license to talk crazy and out of their neck about Black men who are not interested in voting for Kamala Harris. And I think, unfortunately, for not just the Democratic Party, but America, those chickens might come home to roost on November 4th.
All right, Joe, you
Dismissive ass bitch. That bitch was dismissive as shit. Fuck her. Salute to Mr. Jake the Great. Shout out to Roger Wood. Have a Johnny. This guy paid Kemp. Yeah, that's my man, Johnny Kemp. R.I.P. Johnny Kemp, man. You know that song was written for Keith Sweat, right? Keith Sweat rejected that song. He's like, it's too fast, man. Johnny Kemp took that joint and man, Johnny Kemp, man, he bodied that song, man. Just got paid. Yeah, she wasn't listening. She was so dismissive, bitch. That bitch,
you don't
got the way she treats. She was this all this. That was rude as shit to be. I'm on your fucking show, bitch. Why the fuck you have me on a fucking show, you whore? If you're just gonna be dismissive and not listen to me, bitch. You fucking whore. Hate these fucking liberals, man. I hate these fucking liberals, man. They so disrespectful, man. We love black men. Every time a black man opens his mouth, it's fuck. Excuse me. Yankees won. One win away from heading to the World Series. Uh-oh.
Corruption in the OAN chief White House correspondent Monica Page has been closely following the growing corruption in the Biden White House. Let's take a listen.
Liberty gonna lose on Sunday in New York. That's gonna be crazy. To lose in New York on Sunday, that's gonna be bananas. That's gonna be sad, man. That's gonna be sad watching the Liberty lose on Sunday in New York in front of their home fans. Everybody going home with the womp womp face.
For most Americans, the Kamala campaign has been nothing short of confusing. She was one of the most unpopular vice presidents in half a century, and then we saw the popularity skyrocketing in a Harris sugar high, running solely on vibes and joy.
Joy cometh in the morning.
She touts radical left economic policies like price controls and taxes on unrealized capital gains, and of course, radical immigration policies.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
But agrees with the Trump-Vance team on no tax on tips, child tax credits, and the border wall, all while saying her values haven't changed.
The most important and most significant aspect of My policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
She's dispatching Tim Walz to woo the male vote.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is out pheasant hunting in Sleepy Eye, Minnesota, taking part in the 12th annual Governor's Pheasant Hunting Opener,
while deploying Obama to guilt black men into voting for her.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
Former President Bill Clinton tried to come to her rescue, but ended up saying the quiet part out loud when it came to her immigration policies.
A young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
She turned down the debate with President Trump on Fox, but couldn't wait to sit down with the network for a one-on-one interview, which basically ended up looking like a heated debate with its host.
You've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
Kamala became the first Democrat since Walter Mondale to skip the Alfred E. Smith Memorial Foundation dinner.
Right now, I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
And when Mondale decided to skip the event, he lost every single state but one in the 1984 election. So it appears the campaign is caving in. Aside from the 92% staff turnover rate in her first 3 years as vice president, the campaign appears to be in chaos, especially since President Trump is leading every single key swing state, according to Real Clear Politics polling. Even officials on the ground in these states say she's struggling. Democrat Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin admits Kamala's underwater with voters in the blue state of Michigan, and the alleged finger-pointing in the battleground state of Pennsylvania is looking messy among the Kamala crusade. So for a candidate who appeared to do a lot of flipping on her policies, it may come to no surprise that the polls are showing she's flopping with the American people. Monica Page, One American News, the White House.
OAN Chief White House Correspondent Monica Page.
Salute to Nick Chow, man. Nick Chow say, yo, I know my son, man, DNA is strong because I strongly believe it's possible for BBW to be attractive. What you think about Melungeon bubble butt BBW? Yeah, if she curvy, she's shaped like an hourglass, that's cool. Like any woman with a shape. If she got a shape, and if she just like the Mucinex booger, that ain't cool, man. But she got a shape on her, yeah, man. Any woman can be good looking with a shape on her. I could go on for days. But I couldn't go on for weeks. I don't give a damn about nothing else. Free to you is all I need. Dum, 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 dum.
And we're going to begin tonight with our first look at one of the two men accused of posing as DTE workers and killing a man inside his Rochester Hills home. Today, 39-year-old Joshua Zuazo appeared in court to be formally charged with felony murder.
His alleged accomplice, Carlos Hernandez, is expected to be brought here to Michigan next week after waiving extradition in Louisiana. We want to get to Sean Lay live right now. Sean, we're finally getting some insight into a motive here.
Let's talk about motive. It's in the court documents we got here today at District Court 52-3. Motive, clearly robbery, according to the sheriff and sheriff's investigators. Why the Murray family in Rochester Hills was targeted, that is still under investigation. Why two people went there and what they wanted inside. Again, sheriff's investigators have not been able to answer that question. What is the link here? In the meantime, one of two men, as you say, officially charged. Let's take you inside court.
Everybody pitched in. And so now we've had both in custody for days in a horrific murder.
Let me take you inside a Rochester courtroom for our first look at one of the two men sheriff's investigators say posed as DTE workers 1 week ago. 39-year-old Joshua Zuazo of Dearborn.
Or DTE. We're checking for gas leaks.
A shocking plan to get inside the home of Hussein Murray, who had a jewelry and pawn shop in Hamtramck. Murray's 72-year-old wife was bound with duct tape upstairs. Murray was found bloodied and dead in the basement.
Upon arrival on scene, deputies located her husband deceased in the basement, bound by duct tape around his ankles and wrists and duct tape circling his head several times.
Suspect number one, investigators say, is Carlos Hernandez, arrested a day later in Louisiana. And we are digging to find out a lot about Joshua Zuazo.
We do show that he has extensive criminal history that dates back 2.5 decades.
We dug up that criminal history, released in 2022 for having a weapon in prison, past convictions for armed robbery, multiple other robberies, felony gun crimes, and fleeing.
In this matter, bond will be denied. It is obvious that these charges are very serious. This court has a concern about the public safety, and this court does have concern about a flight risk.
All right, that's just happening here in court a short time ago. Zuazo pleading not guilty to all three charges. He is being held without bond right now. You mentioned Kimberly Hernandez will be brought back by sheriff's investigators sometime next week to face charges right here. In the meantime, we keep asking the sheriff. We just interviewed him a few minutes ago. Anyone else involved here? How far does this go? We're still working on that. We'll have that answer at 6 o'clock.
Sean, before you go, I want to ask you about something. You got to see the witness list that includes Home Depot, Lowe's, and TikTok. Explain.
We got to ask questions about that. Lowe's and Home Depot, apparently these two are on video. Sheriff's investigators found buying things like zip ties, and they say the same zip ties size were found at the scene of the crime. TikTok.
Wow.
The sheriff tells me a tip, apparently an important tip, came through TikTok, and that's why they have it on the witness list to get that.
Wow. Wow.
And we're learning new information tonight in the plight of thefts from City Gear. 3 Memphis men tried a new route to steal from City Gear. MPD says they climbed through the roof, loaded up two cars with boxes of shoes.
You know what? Police were there, though, before all of them could get away. Officers warned, enough is enough with retail theft. WRG's Shay Simon has that story.
From crashing through walls to ramming down.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. And they don't have to pay for that shit. They don't have to pay restitution to fix that wall. They just get charged with like theft if the case gets thrown out. Should make them niggas go back and get some fucking concrete and some cinder blocks and build that wall back.
To ramming down doors. Thieves have gotten crafty with crime, burglarizing Memphis City Gear stores.
Shoplifting is hurting all of us.
This time, a trio went to new heights, the roof. Devontae Bonds, Willie Powell, and Haywood Jordan all now facing burglary and theft charges. Police say in September they stole more than $20,000 worth of Nikes and Jordans at the City Gear in Parkway Village. This week, officers announced a task force is making major impact on retail theft.
We're fed up with it, so we all decided we weren't going to allow it.
You may notice 23-year-old Powell has a bruised and bloody nose. Police say after climbing through the roof and loading up 2 cars with boxes of shoes, he tried to get into the car as police showed up, but fell off the car as others sped off. MPD says more arrests are to come.
We want stores to stay here. We want businesses to feel safe. We want customers to feel safe going shopping in these areas, and just know that we are working really hard.
For your news leader in Memphis, Shay Simon, WREG News, Channel 3.
All right.
New details tonight about a now former Memphis police officer serving time in a federal prison for stealing thousands of dollars in Crime Stoppers reward money.
While MPD.
Okay, we did that yesterday. Oh, this is new information? Okay, new information. We did this yesterday.
He has yet to comment. They did fulfill WREG investigators' open records request today, providing Erica Hutchinson's photo and employment records. Our chief investigator, Jessica Gertler, poured through her files and also sat down with the Crime Stoppers unit to get more information about exactly what happened.
Since 2018, Erica Hutchison was one of 2 Memphis police officers assigned to help field Crime Stoppers tips and send them to investigators.
I knew her. She had been in many of our meetings.
David Wayne Brown is Crime Stoppers executive director.
She was a trusted individual, and I always thought she was a nice person. I know that she got into some kind of financial difficulty, and perhaps that's what pushed her.
WREG investigators uncovered internal police records stating in late 2023 through early 2024, Hutchison carefully devised, participated, and executed a plan to fraudulently obtain money from the Crime Stoppers Rewards program. Basically, each tipster is assigned a number when they provide information because the system is all anonymous. If a detective says that tip helps solve the felony crime, Crime Stoppers determines the reward amount. The tipster then calls in and gives the number to see if they got a reward. Internal Affairs says Hutchison took unclaimed tips, provided the information to a female acquaintance so she could pick up rewards, and the 2 would split it. At least one time, Hutchison changed an investigator's information in the database to collect a reward. Brown says in all, they collected 18 to 19 rewards.
And it was just around $20,000.
Internal Affairs stated Hutchison.
White lady, man, a fucking glider chick, man. I thought this was gonna be a sister, man. Thank God, man. It's almost every time it's a sister. This one time it was a glider, man. Thank God, man. She looked like she might be lunging though, but whatever, man. We're gonna give her a glider, man. She a glider, man. Thank God, sisters. Whew. Shit.
Refused to cooperate, stressing in her file the probability of public outrage will have a profound effect once your crimes are exposed in the media and will further promote distrust in MPD. Before she could be disciplined, she resigned in April, stating, "I have enjoyed my affiliation and will always cherish the friendships." She was federally charged in June and pleaded guilty that same day. Earlier this month, she was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison plus 2 years supervised release, forced to pay $20,000 in restitution, among other requirements like a mental health assessment, financial literacy classes, and drug and alcohol treatment.
Crime Stoppers is fine. A donor has made sure that we are whole. And the good news is we caught her quickly.
Brown says internal safeguards are in place, like an audit system, which raised red flags, and within months, the FBI launched and conducted an investigation. He says Crime Stoppers has added another safeguard to ensure and maintain the public's trust.
Something like this has never happened before in 44 years of Crime Stoppers. So I think it's
nobody's ever got caught.
Anomaly.
The state's policing board says MPD has notified them about Hutchison's resignation, but at last check has yet to request her decertification. MPD is yet to respond to her emails. Now, according to federal documents, her accomplice has been charged separately. We're digging deeper to find out who her accomplice is. Investigating for news leader Jessica Gertler, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, Jessica.
Wow, it was a white chick all this time. Ain't that something? Gliders, man. Gliders on the bird early, man. Wow.
Shots fired inside a senior high-rise in the medical district, leaving a woman dead and a man in custody. It happened this morning at Memphis Towers on Court Avenue. WREG's Mike Suriani has details and reaction to the fatal shooting.
It's messed up. I mean, it's sad. Kevin Gray just recently moved into Memphis Towers on Court Avenue and is shocked a woman who lives here was allegedly gunned down Friday morning by a man who was detained and taken to Methodist University Hospital. I saw the lady. We were down there playing cards last night, and I don't know what went on or whatever the case may be. What? I mean, he shot the lady in the head 5 times. That's my understanding of it. Memphis Towers is under new ownership, and workers making repairs and painting showed up Friday morning for what they thought would be a routine day.
There was a lot of police officers, EMT, fire trucks here, and they just, denied us access to the building, said that an incident has happened. When my crew did get inside, they had let me know that someone had passed away due to a shooting that happened, I think, on the 2nd floor.
Police have not released a motive in Friday morning's fatal shooting, but more than one person I spoke with believe the incident may have been the result of domestic violence between the man and woman.
I don't know what happened between that woman and that man. I really don't know.
Gladys Sugars lived here 7 months and doesn't know what to make of Friday's tragedy.
Yeah, it kind of scared me a little bit, made me want to move, but I'm going to stay on in here and I'm going to see what's going on. But so far, I ain't had no problem with nobody.
Sad, another day in Memphis, bad things happening that, can be completely prevented, I think.
For your news leader in the medical district, I'm Mike Suriani,
They murking shit at the old folks' home. Shit. Oh, remember this? This was the other day. That custodian shot his boss at the college in California. We were trying to figure out why he did it.
We begin at 6 with the shooting this week at Santa Monica College. And tonight we are hearing from the family of Felicia Hudson. She is the woman who was killed Monday evening. Good evening to you. I'm Robert Kovacic.
Hit the like button, man. We need way more likes than we got, man. Everybody take a second to hit the like button, man. Everybody take a second to hit the like button, man. Please, man. Please, man. Please hit the like button, man. Please. 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 Hit that like button, man. Y'all ready? Ready to resume, man? Press 1 if you just hit the like button, man. Also take the $5 challenge. Shout out to my man, Graham, man. Graham says down payment for the Ock Nation dad, kids and wife, Amtrak, SkyTrain through the Rocky Mountains, USA, expat. Salute to you, man. Yeah, man. Expat. Where you from? Where you staying at, man? Waiting for these lights to get up, man. What? Paul Henderson in the building, man. He said last night and tonight this channel crops out and I have to reload. Never happens on other channels, just you. What do you mean crops out? The channel crops out? What does that mean? Tell me what that means when it says the channel crops out. Let me show you this. Shout out to Charles. He says, do you listen to Go-Go? And is Go-Go still a thing in DC? And why is DC? Is every DC ninja I've ever met funny as fuck? Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of funny dudes in DC. That's real shit. Dude's way funnier than me, man. Shit, way funnier than me, man. I can think of a bunch of them offhand, man. Go-go's still a thing, yeah, but hip hop has kind of infiltrated DC. So like a lot of the young talent is doing hip hop. So it's like, yeah, go-go's still around. It's different beat. Every generation has its own iteration of go-go. Go-go evolves throughout the years. So I'm sure this generation they doing it their way. I'm really not hip to what they're doing now with go-go, but I know go-go music is jungle music, man. It's jungle music, and it's perfect for DC, Chocolate City, man. Perfect for Chocolate City, DC, jungle music. Beats, call and response, cover band. Go-go. A lot of my favorite songs are go-go songs. Go-go never got out of it. Never really spread outside of the Maryland, Virginia, DC area. Kind of stayed local. You got some good go-go songs. Let me clear my throat. Lean on me. But um
And I'm Colleen Williams. Hudson worked as a custodial operations manager at the college and was killed by her coworker. NBC4's Alex Rozier spoke with Hudson's son and joins us live with the story for the first time and only on 4. Alex.
Felicia Hudson's son doesn't know what led to this shooting, but today he expressed outrage with Santa Monica College. He thinks the college failed his family. He said they didn't do enough to keep his mom safe.
I just wish that none of this occurred.
Patrick Buckley said his mom, Felicia Hudson, must be celebrated.
My mom was a positive soul. She brought light to any room she walked into. She had a smile that can make anyone else smile.
The 54-year-old worked at Santa Monica College for more than 25 years, most recently as a custodial operations manager. Dennis Biddle was her boss.
I can remember the day when Felicia became a manager or a supervisor. She was nervous to do it, and her growth and improvement has just been amazing.
And that just adds to the heartbreak, knowing she was killed on the job Monday night.
But everyone that I've been speaking with is truly heartbroken, as am I. As am I.
Just before 10 p.m., a man who works under Felicia, Davon Durrell Dean, shot her at the Center for Media and Design. She later died at the hospital. On Tuesday afternoon, after a brief pursuit and standoff, Dean was found dead in his car in Hawthorne from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Patrick said his mom knew Dean well and helped him often.
My mom was really close with him.
But tonight, Patrick's frustrated over what he believes is a lack of security on campus.
I feel like campus should be secure 24/7.
Especially.
Yeah, but your mom was friends with the guy. She was very close with the guy who killed her. No amount of security would have saved her if she was very close with this guy. And she was helping him often. Security can't really do nothing for that brother. I know this brother is distraught, and my heart goes out to him. But no amount of security could have saved your mom if she was very close with this guy, and she was always helping him. It's not like he was some stranger coming on the campus.
Was really close with him.
But tonight, Patrick's frustrated over what he believes is a lack of security on campus.
I feel like
somebody said DEI drama, man. Y'all stupid as shit, man. God, dog, DEI drama. Fuck.
Campus should be secure 24/7.
Especially considering there was another school shooting here in 2013 that his mom survived.
If the campus were to add more security, if the police were to be more vigilant on campus, this would have not happened.
He's also outraged after learning about Dean's background. That includes arrests for attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon, and convictions for misdemeanor property crimes.
And that was your friend. That was your mama's friend, man. That was your mother's friend, man. It'd be like that, man. Look what the cat dragged in. You heard me?
His hiring process, that gentleman should have been farther assessed. Like
your mother's friend should, the person that your mother was very close to should have got hired. She probably would have put a word in for him. She probably would have moved his application to the head. She'd have probably helped him get hired. If your mother was close with the dude, man, this is nothing nobody could have done anything about. The school couldn't have stopped it.
Should have been farther assessed. Like my mom is at work. I shouldn't have to be worried that someone that she works with is going to take her life.
We asked Santa Monica College if they ran a background check on Dean before they hired him. Superintendent and President Catherine Jeffrey said in part, quote,
"Oh my God, that's the superintendent? Oh shit. Yeah, he's gonna get hired anyway, but background checks are racist. Everybody knows that, man. Background checks means racist, man." Catherine Jeffries, the superintendent and the president of the school.
They hired him. Superintendent and President Catherine Jeffrey said in part, quote, "The college requires that all prospective employees disclose previous criminal convictions and all employees are fingerprinted. By law, the college is only able to consider convictions in our hiring decisions and are unaware of an applicant's arrest history." President Jeffrey said Dean did disclose his convictions, which matched records from the Department of Justice.
I feel personally that the school failed us.
Even though Patrick's angry, he's mostly heartbroken, knowing he now must navigate life without the woman he loves most.
I'm going to miss my mom. I love her to death, and she was the most kind soul I've ever encountered in my life.
Let's bring you back out live now to a shot to the Santa Monica College campus quad. Tonight, there'll be a candlelight vigil beginning at 6:30, honoring Felicia's life. That's where this vigil will take place in just a few moments. But a couple of final notes tonight. I asked Santa Monica College if they had any comment on Patrick's comments about security on campus. They say they have no comment on that point right now. But a big question tonight, as I noted earlier, what led to this shooting? Family, friends want to know. So does the Santa Monica Police Department. They're working to get their answer. That investigation is ongoing. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
We begin tonight with that candlelight vigil for a Santa Monica College employee who was killed by a coworker. Felicia Hudson was.
Wow. This is so sad, man. Nobody covers shit like this. We're all the blackity blacks covering this shit, man. This woman's life mattered, man.
Was remembered by her mother tonight, her son, her co-workers. NBC4's Darsha Phillips was there and joins us live. Darsha?
Yeah, Colleen, it is clear that Felicia Hudson had a huge impact on everyone she met. The vigil tonight was packed with people. Also there, as you mentioned, her mother and her son. They say they are angry that the school didn't do more to protect her.
Dozens gathered at the quad on Santa Monica College's main campus to honor and celebrate the life of 54-year-old Felicia Hudson.
I'm going to miss that smile. I'm going to miss my friend who I know would have my back no matter what.
Many friends and colleagues took the stage to tearfully remember Hudson, who died after she was shot by a co-worker Monday night on a satellite campus of the college. Hudson's mother and son Patrick also spoke.
When it's your firstborn, it's your child, if you have never lost one, you don't know the pain.
Hudson was the custodial operations manager. The person who shot her, police say, was Devon Durrell Dean, who was also an employee of Santa Monica College. Dean fled the scene of the shooting. Police tracked him down on Tuesday and surrounded his car. Dean died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
My mom was really close with him. I knew of him. I never.
All right, well. Wow. So sad, man. So sad. Oh, wow. Petworth.
To the hospital after she was shot last night in Northwest D.C. An investigation into the circumstances surrounding that shooting is underway. It happened near a very busy metro station. Melanie this morning, live in Northwest with more for us. Mel?
Hey, good morning. And we are here on Quebec Street, and we're getting a much better look at where the gunfire came from and also just the damage that it caused. Take a look. We've got this Ford F-150 truck. Look at the tree. You can see how that is just marked up with bullet holes. And then coming down the sidewalk here, I want to show you into the alley.
Yo, them trees be eating them bullets. Them trees be eating them bullets. The best places to get behind is a tree, man. Them trees eat the bullets, man, no matter what caliber.
Several markings here. Usually police put those circles down where they find shell casings. Those are coming from the alley and then all the way down to the corner. Now, here's what I really want you to take a look at. Look at this sedan. The bullet holes in this vehicle are just incredible. A number of them, too many actually for me to count right now. And what I'm really struck by is right here on the dashboard, if you can see that, where the bullet just ripped right through it. And then also across the street at the CVS, the bullets shattered those windows as well. And right now we know that some of this was also captured on cell phone video. Listen to how loud and scary it was.
There was one group shooting and then another group because the gunshot sounded a little different. There were probably about 30 shots fired. I smelled the smoke, and once I started hearing the fire, other people and me on the street started like kind of sprinting up the street, and we hid like by someone's basement.
So, this happened at 6:45.
It's a lot of hers around there, man, buying up them houses, man. Whole lot of hers and buying up them condos and those luxury apartments, man. This is a notorious neighborhood, like historically, but the white folk came around there and moved everybody out, bought up all the houses and shit, and them niggas still around there doing that shit. Even though most of them don't live over there no more. That shit is crazy.
Like by someone's basement.
So, this happened at 6:45 in the evening on Thursday. A large portion of Georgia Avenue blocked off for the investigation. And we know that people inside the CVS talking to witnesses, they say there are about 20 people in the CVS and everyone was freaking out. They were just ducking for cover. Some people running toward the back emergency exit. Now, later, police discovered a woman had been shot, but she was located about 6 blocks away. She was taken to a hospital where she's expected to recover. Now, there were reports that one of the shooters was wearing a ski mask, and we still don't know if this shooting was random or targeted. Neighbors also told Fox 5 that they think they saw a car speeding away from the area that was just shooting indiscriminately, and that may be back out live here where there is so much of this gun
Shooting indiscriminately. Everyone hit the like button, man. We need more likes, man. Everyone smash that like button, man. Smash that like button, man. When I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Yeah, everybody smash that like button. We about to get it cracking, man. We about to get it cracking. You heard me? In a minute, man. I'm bringing the panel up shortly, man.
Right now, police investigating what appears to be an unprovoked attack on the Schuylkill River Trail. Investigators say a woman was actually assaulted by a man this morning. This is the latest in a series of random attacks that have been reported across the city recently. Action News' John Paul live for us in Center City tonight with the very latest on what we're learning about this.
Who's doing these random attacks, man? Is there like somebody we should look out for, a particular type of person we should look out for?
John.
Yeah, Gray, that attack happened not too far from where I'm standing. I mean, you can see just how busy the
I ain't gonna lie. When I was in Philly that one day, man, I almost had to mace this white homeless dude, man. I was pushing my daughter in the stroller, and that motherfucker stopped and started looking at me all funny, man. I looked at his ass like, and kept on walking. He stopped. He was just standing there, and I was like, man, this motherfucker come near me, I'm gonna fucking mace his ass. He just stood there. Some old dirty ass white homeless man.
The Schuylkill River Trail is. There's always people walking in this area, and I've learned that woman was simply taking pictures for an art project when she was randomly attacked.
Are usually spotted on the trail. Just be advised. The 9 says there is a robbery in progress.
Police responded to the Schuylkill River Trail around 9:15 this morning after an older woman was attacked. According to police, she was on the trail in Center City, not far from South Street, when it happened. She was taking pictures when a man threw her to the ground and stole her phone.
He snatched the cell phone from her and then threw it in the water.
After throwing that phone in the water, he beat her while she was on the ground and ran off. News of the attack came as a surprise to people who use this trail often.
So an elderly woman, some dude ran up on her, took her cell phone, threw it in the lake, and beat her ass. Give me an ID on this person, man. Mason, give me an ID on this person.
Was taking pictures when a man threw her to the ground
Hit the
and
like
stole
button.
her
Take
phone.
the $5
He snatched
challenge.
the cell phone from her and then threw it in the water.
After throwing that phone in the water, he beat her while she was on the ground and ran off. News of the attack came as a surprise to people who use this trail often.
Yeah, it's very upsetting. I'm sorry to hear that. I've always thought it to be pretty safe.
Hopefully it was just a freak thing.
Police were able to catch the attacker on the other side of the river. They say
Pretty safe.
Hopefully it was just a freak thing.
Police were able to catch the attacker on the other side of the river. They say he had a pocket knife and they used a taser to get him into custody. This comes after several other seemingly random attacks in the city. Yesterday, a 61-year-old was slashed with a meat cleaver while on a SEPTA bus in Spring Garden. And police just put out this video of a brutal attack where suspects robbed and beat a man on the ground on the 1500 block of JFK. People we talked to say they take extra precautions knowing something like this could happen.
You never want to let your guard down, right? And especially if you're by yourself on this trail and you have your headphones in like I do a lot of the time. So, it's definitely an important reminder not.
That bro looked like a running back, man. She looked like a white running back, man. Yeah, dog. That neck, man. She looked like a white running back. Goddamn. Lead the league in receptions and shit out the backfield. Big strong neck bench, man. Y'all, what the fuck is wrong with Philly, man? What's going on in Philly, man?
Not to keep your music too loud and make sure you're always looking over your shoulder.
Now, the man arrested in connection with this attack faces a number of different charges, while the woman who was attacked was taken to Jefferson Hospital for treatment. We're live today on the Schuylkill River Trail in San.
Salute to Gary Reed, man. He say, starting to see a lot of suns where I live now. Not talking about the natives. Waxhaw is getting single mamas in their hood sun piece. You have a lot of road rage, man, a lot of accidents, a lot of hit and runs. And that's just with the cars, man. A lot of stealing. A lot of litter. Oh, man. Waxhaw? Waxhaw. Who's that? The Sun team was arrested for murder in Ballantine, one of Charlotte's suburbs. Oh, you live around Charlotte. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, when you start seeing sons of a certain ilk, they don't got the Mockingbird stroller. Sons still be having that original stroller, that baby stroller, man. Sons still be having the original baby stroller, man. Little. Hold on, let me show you the. Where is it? Nah, these the new ones. I gotta find. Let me see. One from 80s, man. Where is that? The original stroller, man. So when you see this, you know it's time to move, man. When you start seeing this joint, man. Let me see where it's at. I can't even find a picture of it. I don't even know where they buy them Jones at, because it's like they don't even sell them shits in stores no more. Where's that shit at, man? Here you go. Here you go. Here we go. Let me show you. When you see this stroller right here, it's time to move, man. When you see a son sister pushing her baby around on one of these joints, it's time to leave, man. They don't even sell these shits no more. I don't know where the son sisters be getting this from, because I bought like 5 strollers since my kids been born, man. And they all fucking cost like hundreds of dollars, man. They all got rubber tires and shit and fucking titanium rods and shit. You see the son sisters still pushing their babies around in this joint. It's time to go when you see that, man. Fuck. Yeah, man. Sons ruin everything, man. It just is what it is, man. It ain't even nothing personal at this point. At this point, no one can even accuse you of being personal. No one can accuse you, man. It is what it is, man. Sons ruin everything, man. They ruin everything.
There is renewed concern about human waste littering walking paths at Allen's Landing in downtown Houston.
Residents say efforts to keep the paths clean are not working.
Katira Winfrey live near a homeless encampment downtown with more on this problem. Katira?
Lynn and Mia, one man I spoke to said it's like a balancing act, understanding the homeless population often has limited access to restroom facilities. However, the people who live, work, and play around here often have a mess to get around, and there's no clear solution.
Downtown Houston has so much to offer. That's why Dominic Garcia moved here. But around the corner near Main and Commerce is a homeless encampment. It has neighbors frustrated with suspected human fecal matter littering the trails and smears the walls.
I think Houston's doing a good job with the cleaning and the maintenance. I mean, I just think they can't keep up.
Garcia has been living here for a year and doesn't know what to do. He's been trying to document it all, hoping it'll lead to change, while understanding options are limited for people living on the street.
It seems like there's nowhere for these people to go, or perhaps they haven't provided a place for them to go. So they're just using the streets and the public places.
Alvin Gaston lives here under this shade.
Them people are where they want to be, man. Stop that shit. Them people are where they want to be. They don't have to pay no bills. They don't have no responsibilities. They get to live in the street. They get to be a street person. These people are where they want to be 90% of the time. I'm tired of this bullshit that homeless people is just some people that downtrodden No, they're living the life they want. They're outdoorsmen. They're people that like living outdoors. The people that like not having bills, not having a light bill, not having all this, not having all the entanglements of a fully functional life in the Western society, paying bills and shit, paying and fucking maintaining a house. I just had somebody come put in a radiator today, man. It's cutting your grass and shit, and fixing up, they just want to live in a tent and not have to deal with all that shit. These motherfuckers ain't downtrodden. These motherfuckers want to be there.
Tree most days because it's comfortable and he feels safe.
I was once over there, but it's too many people over there, and it's crowded, and they get into kind of a bad attitude over that way.
He's been here about 4 months, not too far away from a larger nearby encampment the neighbors are frustrated with. Alvin says he tries to make the 1 mile walk to the public library to use the restroom or uses a bag when desperate. He says there are portable toilets available sometimes.
They're not over there this week, but they does bring them back.
He too says it would be great to see a more permanent public restroom facility nearby. And while cleanup crews clear the waste from sidewalks monthly, much like Garcia, he agrees that's not enough.
Because I think everybody here is very kind-hearted and they care about these people. But at the same time, it's a balance between the human waste, the trash, and the violence.
The human waste is them, knucklehead, and they don't care about you, asshole. Press 1.
And I reached out to the city councilor's office who covers this district, and I am waiting to hear back. I also am waiting to hear back from a couple of homeless advocacy groups. For now, reporting live.
Fuck them people, man. Let me drop the link, man. Take my heart in your hands. Do whatever you want to do. My love, my love, my love, my love, my love. Deeper than us. I made mistakes before. Won't you please? Oh. Let's see what's cracking, man. Break it down. I don't want nobody else to hear the sound. This love is a private affair. Interrupt the groove, no, you better not dare. I'll bring you on. Let me drill. Down, 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 down. What's happening, man?
Hey,
what's cracking? What's cracking?
I got a Michael Jordan game in the background. I'm watching that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man, nothing like the good old days, man, before you could take 15 steps to get to the basket, man. Salute to Antoine, man. He says, long time channel supporter. Okay. Shout out to you, Antoine. Salute, man. Salute, my G. Salute, homie. I got one for you, KB, man.
A serial sexual assault suspect behind bars tonight, accused of raping and drugging multiple women. One of his victims died of an overdose. Sandra Mitchell live in downtown LA with more on how the suspect used a dating app to lure his victims. Sandra.
Yeah, Micah, just a few moments ago, I did talk to the LA County District Attorney. He gave us some more details about this case. He says the suspect is a serial rapist who did meet his victims on dating apps, and then he lured them to his apartment. Investigators say this is the face of a predator, a man who met women on dating apps, then drugged and raped them in his Hermosa Beach and Redondo Beach homes. Tonight, 50-year-old Michael DiGiorgio facing 18 felony counts, including murder, rape, sodomy, and furnishing a controlled substance.
Was luring women through dating apps and to a dating situation, and then he was drugging them and he was raping them. In July of 2020, one of the victims died as a result of an overdose and drugs provided by this individual.
LA County DA George Gascon says DiGiorgio was using a popular date rape drug to knock the women unconscious. Right now, 9 women.
Yo, he was pulling the Bill Cosby, man. Niggas still doing that shit. That's crazy, man.
I think he was just a serial killer.
You say what?
He was a serial killer.
I don't know, man. He only killed one person. Only one person died.
He probably killed more.
He's a serial rapist. But yeah, he man, drugging women. They still doing that shit? Yikes.
Women are cooperating with authorities, but the DA believes there could be more victims.
Sexual assault is one of the least reported crimes, or terribly underreported. And it's often because the victims are afraid to come forward. And we want to get a very clear message to our community that you can come forward. We're here for you.
DiGiorgio, wearing glasses and standing behind his attorney, was in court for his first appearance today. Because of the seriousness of the charges, he's being held without bail. DiGiorgio's father was also in court today to try and talk to his son. He was not able to do that, but I asked him to tell me a little bit about his son, the suspect in this case. He looked at me and said, "Figure it out for yourself." If he's convicted, DiGiorgio could face life in prison. We're live tonight in downtown LA.
Life. Yeah. Facts. You get life for that shit, man. Life sentence for that shit, man. Fuck.
Real piece of shit.
DiGiorno. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. It's DiGiorgio. That's his name, DiGiorgio. There's some shit. Oh yeah, there's some shit on Twitter I want to show. Starter in a building, man. Say what? Say what? Say what?
What's good, Odd Nation?
Ain't nothing. What's cracking, man?
You know, man, the usual.
White people fucking with you and shit.
No. Everything's good, man. Everything's good.
You sure, man? Look at this guy, man. Homeless Somali immigrant Mohammed Lidlow raped and killed 37-year-old Natalie in Southall Park, UK. Jurors cried with fear as they watched the footage in court today. Natalie left behind 3 children. Enough is enough. Funny how white people say enough is enough. It's too many of them there. Like, what do you mean enough is enough? You don't let like a gazillion of them in the country. Huh? Enough is enough. Okay, so we're not letting any more in now. You don't have to. They be the way they be having babies. They be, man. They print babies, man. They don't even deliver babies. They just multiply through cell division, man. Shit, crazy, man. Salute to Andy Armour, man, taking the pledge, man. You gliders, this gonna go down as one of the craziest generations of gliders ever, man.
They invited self-destruction.
It's 3:00 in the morning, and I'm gonna post this
They
video.
sure did. They invited it. They got conquered. This was the most peaceful conqueror in the history of the world.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna post this video on Twitter. And if you get to see it, you're lucky, because I'm probably gonna delete it really fast because it's really racist. But I want to get the shit out of my chest because I can't take it no more. But I need white people to really start being white supremacists again. I need you guys to tap into that shit.
Sure.
And do it again, please, because this country is out of control. I mean, goddamn, we got little kids thinking that they could be fucking females. And we got black people.
That's a sharp chirp too, man. God, she got the in her pocket.
After, but what's crazy about that chirp is after about a day or two, they don't even hear it no more. Like it's
I
just
don't
like
know how
ambient. It's like ambient noise. You know what I mean?
Wait, so for a day they hear it and they don't change it?
Yeah, they hear it because they too lazy. A lot of the times they're just too lazy or too stupid to figure out which one it is and fix it.
Let me tell you something, man. That trying to be chirping for a day. Are you talking about a day? That should have chirped for a year. No, she ain't gonna change that shit till she get a new boyfriend who come over there and be like, "Yo, baby, let me go get you some batteries." Putting this motherfucker. That should have chirped for a year, man. That should have chirped for 10 years, man. What the fuck you talking about? One day. The shit.
They hear it. They only hear it for the day. After that, it just becomes background noise. That shit could be going for the whole term of their damn lease.
Right. That was a loud chirp, man. Like that. This is a special smoke detector, man. This is one of the ones to make sure you change that. Be like, change that shit, bitch.
I mean, goddamn, we got little kids thinking that they could be fucking females, and we got black people thinking they built America. This shit is crazy. And honestly, you guys don't do anything about it. Your whole generation is gonna be completely. I mean, come on now. You guys are getting killed off right now, and you guys. It seems like you guys are okay with it. Your women are getting raped. That's for sure, by Muslims and blacks. It's happening all the time. You see it, and nobody say anything because you can't say nothing bad about a Muslim or a black man. Oh, you can let them rape. Go ahead, let them rape, but don't say anything about being racist. Don't say that, right? You guys need to stop it, okay? I don't know. I think Alex Jones was right.
That shit is usually every 30 seconds. This one is like every 10 seconds, right?
It really is extra obnoxious for some reason.
She got the smoke detector 2000X edition. That motherfucker like, we guarantee you'll change your battery within 1 day or your money back. This bitch that proved them wrong. She should get a refund, man.
Don't say anything about being racist. Don't say that, right? You guys need to stop it, okay? I don't know. I think Alex Jones was right about the whole frog gay shit, because white people used to be so strong. And you guys now are literally letting a word, racism. The word racism is killing your whole generation. It is. You're scared to be a racist. You better be a racist, because if you're not, this is going to kill you off. Basically, racism means the death of white people.
Damn. She schooled them, man. She schooled you gliders, man. She told y'all, man. Hold it down for me for a second. I got to do something right quick. Hold it down. Everyone hit the like button too, man. Smash that like, man. KB and Stun are going to hold it down for a few seconds.
Her appeal is about 30 years too late.
How many?
About 30. This thing's been lost. They let too many of these dudes in years ago. And I ain't even talking about the recent surges. Western countries let too many of these type dudes in starting in like the late 90s. And it's been downhill ever since.
Yeah, once 9/11 happened, the floodgates opened.
What's weird is that after 9/11, we didn't get more restrictive on who come into the country. We got way less.
Either way, the illegal immigration is such a big problem that it's completely uncontrolled.
Not only is illegal immigration out of control, we have, I think at this point, we have too much legal immigration. Needs to be a moratorium on all immigration for about 10 years.
Fuck this fat bitch, though.
Look like she got great dome piece, though. I ain't gonna lie. I bet she, boy, let me stop.
Hey, do you are you a fan of LeBron James?
No. Why do you ask?
I'm watching Michael Jordan play, and a lot of people think LeBron James is better than him, and they're fucking insane.
I think it's fair to say that LeBron is probably a better physical specimen, but I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to match MJ's drive and determination on top of the skill.
Yeah, he was. I think he was just as much of a physical specimen, MJ. Like, I think his hands were bigger.
When MJ was in middle school, he looked like a middle schooler. When he was in high school, he looked like a high schooler. When he got to college, he looked like a dude should look like they're in college, LeBron
Yeah,
has looked like a grown man since he was like 13.
he developed naturally. I wonder if he
Yep.
took performance-enhancing drugs.
As a teen, probably not. As a young adult, more than likely.
Well, I know LeBron did, but Michael Jordan.
Nah, I doubt it. Maybe later in his career he did. I wouldn't be surprised if them last 3 or 4 years may have been a little aided.
Maybe he was taking it when he hurt himself, and then at the Wizards.
Or maybe when he was trying to recover.
And then he said, "I'm done with this because I don't want to take that."
So where you from, boss man?
Seattle. Are you from Philly?
Nah. Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
Is
that
Antifa?
the country?
Nah. Suburbs.
Gotcha.
Is Antifa still running wild?
I don't think so. I mean, there hasn't been anything like the CHOP thing, and I moved here right as it ended, thankfully. But there's a bunch of communists.
Yeah, a whole bunch of those. But takes a special breed to become Antifa, though.
Yeah, special, like just anti-social attitude.
Yeah. Are you a Trumper?
I mean, I'm not gonna vote, but he's the lesser of two evils, you could say.
Then why not vote for him, man?
Well, consider I'm in the blue state. It's not gonna do anything.
You vote in local politics?
No, I don't vote.
People with common sense are going to have to start speaking up in Seattle or lose it forever.
I mean, we've already lost. It's more of a matter of the rate at which it fails.
We take it. Are there a lot of
Tennessee,
sun teens in your area?
in my direct area, no.
Yeah.
But
No.
overall, not really. I think we were just Seattle was just used as an example of where there's not a lot of sun people.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of crime. If you wanted an example of that direct dynamic, Seattle and Portland fit the bill.
Yeah, it's all pretty petty stuff though.
Bunch of meth head, fentanyl head type activities.
You know, like you get your car broken into. That's what I deal with. That's it.
How often has that happened to you in life, living there? Said you've been there for 3 years?
Yeah. I lived here longer at other points in my life, but probably 3 times.
Usually, if you got a lot of that, you got a lot of, like I said, dope fiends, meth heads, those type characters.
Oh, I forgot it. One time, I think a homeless man broke into my car and he slept in it and he threw up. Yeah, it's bad.
You say he threw up?
He tried to steal the car. He ripped some stuff out. Couldn't steal it, so he threw up.
Wow.
Hey, KB, can you like enunciate your words, man? Like, god damn, man.
I'll do my best.
It's like, yo, it's like, damn, it's like, so what do you think about the third party candidates, the Green Party versus the Libertarian Party?
Damn.
It's like, what the fuck, man? The fuck is going on, man?
Yo, what's fucking cracking, yo?
Ain't shit. What you think about this dark butt, man?
I mean, just going off face, I raw dogger. Going off the face. I don't know like what she look like, but below the face though, so I don't know.
Nah, that's a filter. I'm talking about what you think about what she said, motherfucker.
Oh, what she said? Damn,
Yeah.
I wasn't listening for a while. I just came back. I don't know what she said.
It's 3:00 in the morning, and I'm gonna post this video on Twitter. And if you get to see it, you're lucky, because I'm probably gonna delete it really fast because it's really racist. But I want to get the shit out of my chest because I can't take it no more. But I need white people to really start being white supremacists again. I need you guys to tap into that shit and do it again, please, because this country is out of control. I mean, goddamn, we got little kids thinking that they could be fucking females, and we got black people thinking they built America. This shit is crazy. And honestly, if you guys don't do anything about it, your whole generation is going to be completely. I mean, come on, now you guys are getting killed off right now, and you guys, it seems like you guys are okay with it. Your women are getting raped, that's for sure, by Muslims and blacks. It's happening all the time. You see it. And nobody say anything because you can't say nothing bad about a Muslim or a black man. Oh, you can let them rape. Go ahead, let them rape. But don't say anything about being racist. Don't say that, right? You guys need to stop it, okay? I don't know. I think Alex Jones was right about the whole frog gay shit, because white people used to be so strong. And you guys now are literally letting a word, racism. The word racism is killing your whole generation. It is. You're scared to be a racist. You better be a racist, because if you're not, this is going to kill you off. Basically, racism means the death of white people.
She's about 30. She's about 30 years too late with this. She should have said this shit in 1987.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, she's like a 0.00. I don't even know how many 0% one black female on the planet.
Or maybe
looks
that's
like
AI generated.
She looks like one of them ghetto gaggers to me.
I literally never heard a black female say something like that ever in my life.
You sure that's not AI generated?
It's 3:00 in
Yeah, it's a filter. I don't think it's AI generated. I think she's got a heavy filter on there. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's get into the That's funny. That's funny.
Should have made her fat though.
The day out is inside the facility.
Yo, that's funny,
Pretty
man.
accurate.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a typical Melungeon family, if you ask me. The dad either is not there at all, or he just probably just isn't shit in general.
I don't know where the Indians get that littering shit from, but black people get it from their mama.
Seems like everything else too.
I done seen in public so many times. I rarely see black males just openly littering in front of children. I'm sure they do, but I've never seen it. I've seen on multiple occasions son sisters heavy litter in front of little kids. I even asked one son sister to pick it up, and she did.
You're lucky he did. You're lucky he
Sounds
did not
risky.
pull out the speed dial, the killer speed dial.
Right. Our
Why
boy
are you out
Bryce
there telling
Gerlach.
people what to do?
Yeah, I mean, that was brave, man. Don't try that at home, folks.
I'm the number one stunner. I stunned it on her, and she complied.
Oh wow.
These black women out here littering.
Bryce Gerlach. 6'2", 6'7" wingspan. 36-inch vertical, 4.5 in the 40, 3.92 GPA. Punter, kicker, place kicker, DB. Dead. Dead than a doorknob. Homeboy deader than a doorknob. You heard me? That's him right here. Black schools don't have punters. Black schools go for it on fourth down. Black schools don't even kick extra points. They go for two every time. That shit crazy, man.
And they just get the.
If they do punt, the quarterback is the kicker. Whoever the quarterback is automatically the punter too. If they do punt,
right? And the punt always fucked up. It always look like a goddamn shit show.
They just get the quarterback to run because the nigga can't throw.
Right.
Or read defenses.
They struggle at special teams.
What's up with niggas not being able to kick? Like, that's bizarre to me.
They just don't try. They don't practice.
Yeah, because niggas can play soccer over there in the third and overseas. A lot of great soccer players. Brazil, Africa, France. France so damn a bunch of black dudes, man.
Jamaica.
Yeah, well, Jamaica sucks at soccer, but
Well, I know a lot. Well, at least they're interested.
This guy Bryce Gerlach, man, like kicked a 55-yard field goal in practice. He was going places, man. He's a place kicker. This kid's dead. Some fucking sun turd walked up and blew his brains out. for no reason. Um, Unbelievable, man. Let's see the story, man.
I guess he ain't get the memo from Scott Adams.
Is Bryce a glider name?
There's nothing he could have done, though. Yeah, Bryce is. It's a couple. LeBron's son is named Bryce, but Bryce historically is like a 99% glider name.
Yeah, everybody knew Bryce. Like, if you see that blue truck driving around court and like, oh, that's Bryce. Like, everyone knows that.
That blue truck now sits by the roadway, draped in black. But Bryce Gerlach will never sit in the driver's seat again.
All of these folks were innocent bystanders.
Saturday night, Gerlach was killed in a triple shooting in downtown New Albany during Harvest Homecoming at just 18 years old.
Our initial belief is all of the persons who were shot in this incident were completely unrelated to the dispute that led to it.
A tragic.
Sounds like the TSU shooting from the other day.
Some goddamn fucking ape with a gun started shooting.
Saw
got mad at somebody.
No, I saw an op probably.
Mm-hmm.
Saw somebody, you know what I'm saying? And because they can't shoot worth a damn, hit everybody except for the person they're aiming for.
If you live in an area with at least 5 or 8%, you must always bring your or a Kevlar helmet with you or a bulletproof vest just to
I'd
be
say
sure.
about 6%. 6% sun or 6%
Yeah.
umbrito, 8% of umbrito, you might start having problems.
Albany during Harvest Homecoming at just 18 years old.
Our initial belief is all of the persons who were shot in this incident were completely unrelated to the dispute that led to it.
A tragedy that is striking at the heart of a small Harrison County town.
I think it just shows how many people like truly cared about him and how we all still care about each other so much that we can come out here and just gather around and just celebrate his life.
The parking spot of the Corden Central Senior, now a memorial.
Friendships, they're wonderful, and I'm really glad I got to have one with him.
His teammates rocked by the loss. Gerlach was a kicker and defensive back for the Panthers, playing in what would be his last game Friday night. His character shining on the field and off.
I really wish that I had any words to say in this scenario that would make things better.
Sunday, a cool night, but the air heavy with grief. Gerlach's own family leading hundreds on a candlelit walk in his honor, coming together in a remarkable display of love and support for a loss that impacts so many.
If you look around, you see a community that deeply loves each other. Otherwise, we wouldn't all be out here tonight. I have hope in friends and family that in the coming days, we will be able to support one another in ways that we never dreamed we could. And I personally have hope in my faith and in prayer to a God that I believe truly mourns with us tonight.
Yeah, everybody knew Bryce. Like, if you see that.
No suspects.
Black dude with dreads. That's the description. The description is a black guy with dreads.
If it had been a glider, they would have told us.
Yeah, exactly. It's a black guy with dreads. The police said black man with dreadlocks.
They probably was hating on him because he was a fast white boy. It's like, man, fuck. Nigga, it's only supposed to be fast niggas, so they got him out the paint.
Caitlin Clark type shit. So
yeah, it was like, nah, nigga, we gotta have something, dog. We the dumbest, most violent. poorest, least educated nigga, we gotta at least be the best motherfuckers on the planet.
This shit's sad, man. And these people can't. They gotta act like they can't. They can't release. See, black people think it's cool to have people like locked in and not be able to express themselves, but it simmers, and then that simmer boils because these people should be able to be like drop n bombs and shit. Fucking nigga, kill my fucking friend, but they gotta act like it's all good and shit. That's why you get a silent majority.
This is what Black Gen Z is saying. These glider folks are just quiet, and then maybe one day they will just explode and do the unimaginable to most minorities, not just sons.
Just start shooting, man.
Yeah.
Shit's so sad, man. Yeah, shit is just sad, man. Killed this fucking kid, man. There's no gonna be no. The mainstream media can't cover this because it's a black dude that did it, so they can't. It's not like that they won't. They can't cover it.
Really bad timing too.
I don't care when this happened. You can't cover this. You can't cover this in fucking president's second year.
But what if Trump brings it up and gets a standing ovation?
Trump ain't gonna bring this up. Trump, that'd be stupid for Trump to bring this up. He's sticking with migrant crime. Trump is doing a smart thing. He's trying to get black men to vote for him, so he's talking about migrant crime. He hasn't been talking about no black crime. He acts
Yeah,
like
man.
doing all the crime.
Yeah, to me, like I feel like it's so disingenuous when I hear like these black YouTube niggas talking about like migrant crime. Like I always say, man, you niggas got the nerve, man. Y'all niggas been the most violent for decades and decades, and now y'all acting like crime is a problem because Eduardo and Enrique want to come over and get shit cracking. Like, nah, nigga, don't start switch. Keep that same energy. Like, keep that same. It is what it is. Just the streets is the streets type energy y'all niggas be on.
They trying to be civil rights activists now that on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Now y'all turning into like now y'all want to build the wall and y'all want to be anti-immigration because motherfucking because the Amigos coming over here turning shit the fuck up. Like, nah, nigga, it wasn't a problem then. Nah, it ain't a problem now.
The people who are being handed a middle class lifestyle, who are illegal immigrants, they're not a threat to us, people in our age range. I don't know how old you are, little buddy, but me and Ak and people our age, they're not gonna compete with us for too much. It's our kids and their kids. That's where the competition will come in. That's where the inflation and the lack of resources here and there, that's where it will hurt. And because the glider leftists want to hand the migrants everything, the migrants will become, they already are, in my opinion, becoming feeling entitled and shit. And then what you're going to do is open the door for every time we turn on the TV or turn on YouTube, it's going to be a migrant or a migrant's child complaining and turning up and being chaotic in society. So we've already had, and most young people don't even know this, but there's been multiple times in the United States history where crime was not out of control. There's been many times in the history where crime was not out of control. It's only been out of control in very specific times, right? And every time that happens, is because glider leftists either allow it or encourage it or both. So
So, so you're like blaming the white man for niggas being violent? Like,
no. What I'm saying is niggas have always been violent, but there's been times when we've been encouraged to be out of control, and we've proven in other times that we could be under control and not being controlled by gliders, but controlling ourselves, having self-control. We've not always been totally out of control. That's facts, though. That's facts.
I don't believe that for 1 second. I'm
I
gonna
know
let I'm gonna let you go off, King.
now you young, so in your lifetime, you've only seen what's been done in like the last 30 years. If you older than that, you know that there's been periods where things were safe in a lot of places. Only in certain neighborhoods in certain cities was shit cracking like that, but it was not everywhere. Right now, it's everywhere, right? And that can't be allowed to happen if you have kids in the world, right? So, some man always gonna be some man, but there has to be society too. So they have to coalesce. But when you dump all kinds of males, criminals from all over the world on top of that, no, no. Uh, like I again, how old are you, man?
I'm 28.
Right. So again, like in your lifetime, you've only seen the repercussions of a whole lot of bad decisions, right? That you're living that, right? And people who are older than that, we know a time when that was not the case.
What time was it? What time period you talking about?
So if you look at like historically, right? If you look historically, there's been periods of time in the history of the United States. We'll just start with like the 1900s. We'll start from 1900 right there, right? Where some men were doing great things in large numbers because
Like
they
what?
because they had codes and they were sticking to them,
Night.
right?
What were sons doing? Like you said, they were doing great things. What's great things?
Starting businesses, getting college degrees, inventing things,
Inventing things like what?
bro. We can't turn Odd Nation into Black History Month. But I would encourage you though, man. There's obviously a lot you don't know, but I'll just speed my little soliloquy up. If you run it down, man, I'll go to the specific times when it was bad, when the crime was bad, right? You talking about primarily in the late 70s to the early 90s. Then you had a lull. Then you had an explosion again around the year 2000 to about like 2000. Well, I won't say year 2000. Let me go a little bit deeper. I'll go into like 2005, leading into 2008, explosion again, explosion around 2013, explosion around 2017. Like the explosions of the crime have gotten closer and closer together when in the past they would be decades apart. Does that make sense?
Uh,
But
Like,
Stana, you have to be honest about the businesses that has been uh, created by sons. It's shoe shining, car wash, um, what else? But nothing really significant. And also, when you
well,
say
again,
invented,
I'm guessing, no disrespect, but I'm guessing you're under 30 years old as well, right?
no, I'm 35.
Exactly. So you don't have the educational background in Sun Americans to even have a frame of reference of what I'm talking about. If you're talking about black business within the last 30 to 40 years, yeah, it would fit a lot in what you're talking about. Restaurants and just a lot of small scale things. That's correct. But if you look over the total, again, just going back to the 1900s, again, are either one of you guys aware that some of the largest slave owners in the United States were black?
Um,
Yes, we
here-
know
I hear that argument.
Sam's
I even look.
sons.
I
It's
hear
not
that
an
argument
argument. It's not an
about.
argument. It's a fact.
Yeah, that's
Especially in Louisiana and South Carolina, Tennessee. Some of the largest slave owners in Tennessee was black, man. So again, there's a lot of things I think that black people have been involved in this country well before it was even a country that I don't think y'all have even ever heard about. And I'm not fitting to go into a history lesson right now. But I'm
Hey,
just saying that it's a lot I think you guys don't know. But
all right. So
hey, look,
I have a question
look,
for
look,
you.
hold up.
Oh man, all right, go ahead.
You should be able to name one invention because you claimed that they invented things.
Yeah,
It would
he
really
won't
help
be
your
able to.
credibility.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Have y'all never heard the name Garrett Morgan?
No.
Right.
What did he
I'm not,
invent?
I'm not I'm not giving no history lessons, and I'm not arguing any facts with people who don't who
Bro, you
who
just
who,
went
who,
into
who
like who was
admittedly
owning
who who,
slaves, and
who
but now you
admittedly
can't get
don't know.
one invention. Yo, what the?
I just
He can go into like slave history and who owned some slaves here and there, but you can't get one invention, bro. Like, yo, some people, y'all a trip, bro. But I do have a question for you. You say it's like the leftists encouraging sons to be violent. How come you don't see this level of violence with any other groups other than sons?
Yo, Philip, maybe Stunner is referring to trap music because I think it's invented by Sons, but nothing
Yeah,
really
but
invented.
gliders listen to trap music a whole hell of a lot. Like, look at all these concerts these motherfuckers pack out with all these people. It's all gliders. Like the sun, like the music shit is like it's another code that niggas do. Then he's gonna bring up another point. Oh, it's the glider liberals. That's another code. Like, dog, these niggas just violent, bro.
How about maybe the Sons invented pick and roll? You think, or
Yeah,
isolation play?
yeah. Some people invented all this shit, but no, none of these some people can ever just give us one solid one. Not like a little patent on top of top of a white man's invention, or like a little improvement, like a whole ass invention. There's some bubble lip, bell pepper nose, Brillo pad headed, not no
Yeah,
fucking mulatto, not no melungeon, like a full blood sunman created. None of these niggas can't ever pull that shit up. There's no disrespect to anybody. I'm just
not to
I
say that
heard this argument like
someone
3 million
can
times,
invent
bro. It's
anything.
like,
Nigtown, not to say that someone cannot invent anything, but mostly of
oh,
this
I'm saying
people
that.
that
I'm
claim.
saying they can't invent anything. You know what? I'll say it
No, what
first.
I'm saying. Let me finish. What I'm saying is, it's not that sons cannot invent anything, but most of the things that people claim sons invented are done with the help or alongside other glider men. So it's not that they invented it themselves, but it's possible that they invented it alongside a glider.
They helped,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
But
Ark, you missed
what
it.
I'm yeah, yeah. So Sana said that
I was
blacks
listening.
invented. Oh, you was listening. Okay. I'm thinking maybe what they invented are pick and roll, 2-3 defense, isolation play, double team.
They probably ain't even invent that. If it was if basketball was 100% black thing, niggas be running around punching each other and shit, and it wouldn't be
They
no
wouldn't set a
dribbling. It wouldn't even be
screen.
no dribbling.
It's originally Cagers. They are originally called Cagers, right? Maybe if the Suns invented it, they are carrying axe and
Yeah,
hatchets.
it would look a whole lot different. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be
yeah.
structured. It wouldn't be structured. Basketball is very structured. You pick up the ball, you get to take two steps. You gotta stay within the lines. You shoot from this line is this many points. You shoot from that line is that many points. You foul, everybody stops. They go to the line, they stand in this spot while the one dude shoots. Man, you couldn't have that shit with a bunch of niggas.
But it's not impossible for Suns to be part of an invention, right? But not to the extent that they are the ones who invented it, just themselves alone.
I think the problem with Sun inventions is that what are they? Okay, let's look at when the white man showed up. What did the Suns have? What did they have? What did they manufacture? What did they transform? What product did they
Mud,
transform into another product?
mud into a
Peanut
mud hat,
butter.
and then after it rains, and then they will just try and build it again.
Suns, listen, it was never no golden age of listen, if you can't make metals, you can't make bronze,
Gunpowder.
steel, not even gunpowder, bronze or steel or iron. You can't make that shit. You in the fucking Stone Age, man.
Nicked out the back.
You're in the Stone Age if you can't make that shit. That's literally the definition of the Stone Age. When you can't make, when your society hasn't advanced far enough to make metals. That's the definition of the Stone Age. In all African societies, or in the Stone Age when the white man showed up.
Yeah, I
It's similar with the Filipinos. If the Spaniards, if the Americans did not conquer this land, maybe we are worse, living in mud hats and trees.
and this I hope he doesn't think it was personal, but dog, this is like he just sounded like a typical nigga. Like we was making shit and we was inventing all this shit, and some people were so great and we had all this nice, cool ass shit going on, but then you gotta play like the you gotta cue like the music when the bad guy shows up, but instead of like some boogeyman looking nigga, it's some blue haired liberal. When they showed up, that's when the whole black community, shit just turned left. We just started shooting each other and we just stopped inventing shit, and then we stopped owning businesses and like
It's
I'm
the
not I'm not bro. That shit is coke.
the
Peak
CIA
coke,
explanation.
bro. Complete coke.
According to a Filipino legend, the first people to be made were Malakas and Maganda. According to the story, they emerged from bamboo trees and were flown to the Green Islands on the back of a bird. There, they became the parents of the Filipino people. But who were the first Filipinos? That is what we're going to find out today. If you studied in the Philippines, you may be familiar with the wave migration theory. It is commonly taught in the Philippines, or at least back when I was in grade school, that the Philippines was colonized by three waves of people. The first wave was the Negritos, the second wave was the Indones, a seafaring people, and the third was the Malays, the Iron Age people. This was the theory suggested by H. Orte Bayer, founder of the Anthropology Department of the University of the Philippines. As this theory was made in the early 1900s, most modern experts in the field dismiss this theory as outdated and favor more modern theories, looking
Hey,
at more
yo, 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 yo,
both the out of Taiwan and out of Sunderland theory.
yo.
These suggested
Hey, I just want to interject. Being in the Navy and whatnot, there's a lot of Filipinos in the Navy. I've been to the Philippines. Filipinos do not like Sunmen. Like real talk, bro. It's a whole thing, bro.
They love basketball though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love basketball. That's crazy. They love basketball, but
Are
they
you
don't
from
like
the
that.
Navy? Are you from the Navy? Because I have a friend in the Navy right now.
Oh,
He's younger than me.
nah, I got out, man. I got out in August, man.
Said that Austronesians that settled in the Philippines either came from Taiwan to the north and sailed to the Philippines, or Sundaland, an ancient landmass to the southwest that connected some islands to Borneo and mainland Indochina. These theories both have supporters and critics. However, recent studies show a story that doesn't neatly fit in any of these theories, either old or new. A massive study published in 2021 about the migrations in the Philippines in the last 50,000 years concluded, by analyzing the genetics of various groups in the Philippines, that there were 5 waves of migrations into the country. To understand this study, we need to go back to around 70,000 years ago in East Africa. Around 70 to 60,000 years ago, humans first went out of Africa. Some went west to Europe.
See, I don't believe in the out of Africa theory, but well, I
Me
don't believe in
neither.
that.
Me
I don't
neither.
believe in that. I don't believe in that.
The Philippines is an archipelago in the Pacific Ocean, consisting of over 7,000 islands. It
Jeez.
sits on a subduction zone in the Ring of Fire, the geologic belt that surrounds the Pacific, and is the source of a great deal of the seismic activity experienced from Japan to Alaska to California. This geologic history has made the islands mineral rich, but also means the inhabitants must deal with the destructive potential of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Of the 7,000 islands, only about 1,000 have human habitation, and most of those are around 1 square mile in size. The archipelago is split into 3 island groups: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Mindanao is the southernmost group. The Visayas are the central set, and Luzon is the northernmost, named for the largest island in the group, and in the Philippines as a whole. The island of Luzon is the most populated, and includes the capital of Manila. The earliest trace of Homo sapiens, the modern human, is approximately 47,000 years ago. They were preceded by earlier hominids, Homo luzonensis, named for where it was found near Luzon, is dated to approximately 134,000 years ago. And there is evidence that places Homo erectus on the islands as far back as 700,000 years ago. The ancestors of the modern native population had established themselves by around 3000 BCE, having migrated from Taiwan, other nearby islands, and the Asian mainland. They were Austronesian, meaning they belonged to a sociocultural and language group spread across maritime Southeast Asia and reached as far west as Madagascar. Austronesian is the parent language of Malay or Indonesian, Taiwanese, Tagalog, and others spoken throughout islands in the South Pacific. Early settlements in the Philippines tended to stay along rivers and tended to be somewhat isolated by geography. Because of this, they did not develop an overarching political connection, instead maintaining communities via intermarriage and other kinship relations. Trade between and amongst the islands and the mainland was well established by 2000 BCE, evidenced by Philippine jade
Interkinship
artifacts found
translation.
throughout the local area, produced
Interkinship. That's a translation for incest.
by 2000 BCE, evidenced by Philippine jade artifacts found throughout the local area, produced using techniques common to India in the Philippines. These objects, along with ideas and the people who carried them, traveled via the Maritime Jade Road, a massively extensive trade network that existed for approximately 3,000 years, until 1000 CE. The last 1,500 years of this era appear to be a time of extended peace throughout the Philippine Islands and the nearby area. This is evidenced in part by the trade itself, but it is also supported by a lack of archaeological finds of human bones that show evidence of a violent death. Such evidence, however, may simply have not yet been found. Written Philippine history begins around 900 CE. The earliest document is the Laguna copperplate inscription, which is a record of the forgiveness of a debt.
They had a written language. That's crazy. So y'all already got sons, and man, y'all had a written language.
That shit was early as hell too.
Wow.
By this time, the people of the archipelago had begun to organize themselves into socio-political units called barangays. These are akin to a city-state and could be as small as 30 people.
City-states.
Or as large as 500. Some of these came together in confederacies, ruled by a paramount leader chosen from among the rulers of the allied polities, called datus. In areas that had greater contact with the Indian subcontinent, they called the rulers Raja. Later, in areas that had adopted Islam, they were called sultans. Society within these barangays was organized by class, with the highest being the Magino, next the freeman, the Maharlika, then finally the enslaved, the Alipin, all with subcategories to specify a person's status. The early cultures of the Philippines.
I bet you the Alipin were the dark skinned ones. How much you want to bet?
Yeah, they probably with a dark but Filipinos.
The darkest, the darker of the Filipinos. I bet you. I bet you dollars to
Alipin,
donuts. Huh?
Alipin is direct translation is slaves.
Right.
Yo, has there in your observations, have there ever been a culture or a nation where the darker people were like, when it's not like all dark, but like the darker people were like the ruling class over the light skinned people?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
The cultures of the Philippines practiced a polytheistic animism, in which all things have a spirit that must be attended in order to maintain good fortune and avoid bad. Ancestor worship was also included in this, with the ancestors sometimes taking on the aspect of animals, and vice versa. Magic and witchcraft were widely believed to have influence, and those who practiced these could be highly respected and or greatly feared. Filipinos were introduced to Buddhism and Hinduism sometime before the 9th century CE. The archaeological record and documents found in China and India show that some Philippine barangays and islands owed tribute to the Srivijaya Empire, a powerful Indonesian Buddhist state that controlled the maritime trade in the area between the 6th and 13th centuries. Their influence was followed by that of the Majapahit, a Hindu Buddhist state centered on the island of Java. Both Buddhism and Hinduism influenced the existing belief systems and culture, and influence was made easier by the language connections that seemed to exist between Philippines and Indian Sanskrit. Islam first arrived in the Philippines via a missionary, Makdum Karim, in 1380. He accompanied merchants and preached Sunni Islam to people in the Sulu archipelago. He is also credited with building the first mosque in the Philippines. He was followed a decade later by the Indonesian Minangkabau Prince Raja Baguinda, who also set up the Sulu Sultanate. In the early 15th century, the Chinese mariner Zhang founded Chinese Muslim communities in the Philippines. This history of the Philippines is generally organized as pre- and post-colonial. Most of the information we have on the centuries leading up to the Spanish arrival is provided through the chronicles and histories of other countries, notably China. Some of these are in passing or only noted in trade records. Others stand out, and a bit more of their story can be told. The oldest documented barangay is Tondo, a large polity located on the Pasig River Delta in the modern Manila Bay.
So they had they had boats. They was fucking sailing all around this area, trading products and shit, writing shit down. These motherfuckers ain't nothing like niggas, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts.
It's just y'all just pale in comparison to the Chinese and the Japanese and the Koreans. Like they way more advanced than y'all. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we are very much scattered around. thousands and thousands of islands.
Yeah,
That's why we are
that
not
fucks
as
you up too, because you
yes,
can't.
yeah. That's why we are
Yeah,
not cohesive enough as a country.
but it might have helped y'all too, because can't nobody like pin y'all down. But
They were associated with the nearby Manila, which was an independent barangay with
Manila.
whom they shared monopolies on trade across Southeast Asia. This trade was sufficiently important to the Chinese that under the Yongle Emperor of the Ming Dynasty, a governor was appointed to oversee it. In fact, most of the documented information we have about the Philippines in the pre-colonial era comes from records of other countries with whom the various barangay interacted. China provides the most extensive of these, but there is corroborating information from Japan, Champa, India, and others. This kingdom had declined by the early 16th century and had been overtaken by the Luzon. The Luzon were the local peoples around Tondo who took the opportunity of the conquest by Brunei to assert themselves. They were a militaristic culture who were involved in wars all over the Philippines, Indonesia, and mainland Asia, sometimes under the auspices of their state and sometimes as individuals and groups acting as mercenaries. Another largely documented state is the Sultanate of Sulu, so called even though the society pre-existed the introduction of Islam and its political terminology. In the 12th and 13th centuries, people from the Visayas area moved into the Sulu archipelago, in the Mindanao section of the Philippine Islands. They established their state and were known to trade throughout the area, including with the people of Champa on the Indonesian peninsula, some of whom moved to Sulu. There was a short war between the Sulu and the Champa in the 12th century, after which trade was normalized again, shortly before they were...
so you mean all this shit going on? The Bible is happening in the Middle East, right? You know how they talk about the Bible, right? Like all that stuff that was happening, Nebuchadnezzar and Israel and Judah and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
These niggas, these motherfuckers out here was doing their own thing. What is their relationship with God? Did God not love them? I mean, what's up with that? Why God didn't send nobody over there to Jesus? So why didn't He send them a Jesus?
Oh,
Salute to Hot Black, man. Hot Black says inventor checklist: big lipped, check; bell pepper nose, check; Brillo pad hair, check; notorious nostrils, check.
yep.
Make sure you hit the like button. Take the $5 challenge, guys. Support this channel, man. Only channel where you're gonna learn that Filipinos, even though they are the Negroes of Asia, whew,
The
they're the
niggas,
Damn.
Negroes.
the
They're
niggas
the
of
Negroes
Southeast
of
Asia.
Asia.
For,
They're the Negroes of Asia.
for,
were overtaken
yeah,
by an
for,
outside power.
oh, sorry. Oh, no, I was about to say, yeah, salute the high black. These niggas, you know, they like to talk shit about the Melungeons, but then they like to take all the inventions or whatever little shit they done did in American history and try to add that to the niggas. So
Uh, I'd like to know, do you know any inventions from the Sunman in all your days? Have you accumulated such knowledge?
I used to know a lot, but they all been debunked. I used to know a lot. All the ones I thought some man invented was already patented by people previous to them, and it's just like an old wives' tale that Sons invented it. So, like 2 years ago, I thought Sons did invent a lot of stuff, but then I read up on. I forgot who gave me that book that showed how all the inventions Sons get credit for have previously been patented by multiple, not just one, but multiple people. Because you know how patents work, like you invent something, and then somebody else invent something similar. They gotta you know what I'm saying, they gotta put it in the patent house. You can't just put nothing on the market in white man world. You can't just put nothing on the market. Uh you can just be at home fucking with some shit and, all right, cool, we're gonna start selling this shit. No, you gotta fucking take it to the patent house and see if it's already been patented. So because then somebody else, or if they already patented it, they get credit for that shit. So all the white men been taking their shit to the patent office, And it's hundreds. Some of these inventions that black people claim dozens and dozens of previous patents on of the same thing.
Yeah, but you
Maybe
know
not
how?
the maybe not the traffic lights, maybe the tragic lights.
Right.
Yeah, the even the one that Sun Man tried to bring up, dog. He tried to dunk on me with that, bro. The Sun Man did not invent the traffic light. Yo, y'all, some people have to do better, man. Y'all have to want more for yourselves, dog. This shit is too easily researchable to and too easy to debunk. Like, and damn, I wanted to say something else. Fuck. Um shit. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he was so full of shit, man. Like, it just that was ridiculous.
Y'all niggas did not invent a goddamn traffic light. That was a white man. Every time you look up at that traffic light, thank God a white man made it. I gotta start putting respect on the white man name. Stop trying to steal his history, man. Fuck wrong with you niggas, dog. No disrespect, respectfully, man. Respectfully put respect on his name. Fuck wrong with you niggas, man. Goddamn stealing inventions, and we invented this, and we invented this, the traffic light, and oh yeah, and the refrigerator. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So you know how sons, because sons can't claim like any of these inventions, what they'll try to do is try to poison the well of like inventions that gliders made by saying, well, the slaves, they probably were inventing things, but the gliders probably just stole the patent for it. So, we probably invented all this shit for real, for real. And the gliders just stole it from the slaves because they didn't have rights. So, that's dog, y'all gliders out here. These some people, they trying to steal y'all history, bro. They don't
Right.
respect y'all, and they trying to steal all y'all motherfucking all that white excellence, bro. I'm here.
Salute,
I'm here. I'm looking out for y'all though. Oh my fault. Go ahead.
salute to Big Larry. Jesus Christ. Big
I
Larry in the
gotta give
building. Salute to
gotta give the Juice Crew credit. They've invented a fair number of things.
Yeah, they invented LGBTQP.
Yep. Yep. Garrett. They'll just say, "Well, we didn't know, so we'll just use the the Sun Man of the Gaps." We can't prove they did anything, but we'll just say they probably did it. They probably did it because they were slaves and they were so smart, and the white man was just so evil, stealing all their black inventions, even though we don't have any real evidence of them doing it. Man, these some people, bro, they're sneaky as fuck. They'll steal your shit to try to act like you're racist for telling them that you trying to steal our shit, man. I call that shit out because I don't like that shit at all. Well, there's some people out there, man, invent your own shit.
Yeah,
Stop
no,
fucking
they tried to steal the braids, the cornrows.
Yeah, it's always something. But then these same some people will be the main ones shouting cultural appropriation, and they want to be like us, but they don't. They want to be black until it's time to really be black. Like, dog, shit is crazy, man.
What do they mean by that?
Man, these niggas apparently when these niggas say they want to be black, they they mean they want to like do the black performative shit, like speak slang, dress like black people. Um, they might like they might like fucking on black people. They might like rap music and playing sports niggas play or whatever the fuck it is. Oh yeah, they might like getting braids and all that shit. But then when it's time to stand up for black people and raise your black fist in the air, then they're nowhere to be found. Like black people have to take all the bullets by themselves from the cop because the cops are hunting us down in the streets every day. And, the system is against us, but when it's time to speak out against that, then white people are nowhere to be found. That's basically the gist of what I get from when they say it. Because I don't even think these niggas know what the fuck they mean when they say that shit.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, man. Yo, some people lie, man. I don't do that because I'm a son. I'm just gonna believe sons, man. Fuck that. I learned a long time ago. These niggas will lie. They'll lie about the most like obvious shit.
But they won't snitch.
They won't snitch, but they will lie on you.
Big Larry in the building, man. Shout out to Big Larry, man. Let's see why Ugandans hate Indians, man.
The Indian workers who built the first railroad to Uganda attracted Indian shopkeepers who sold to them. These Indian shopkeepers remained after the railroad was completed, selling not only to their countrymen but also to the British and, primarily, to the much larger indigenous African population. In many cases, these Indian shops were the first permanent commercial retail establishments the African villagers had ever encountered.
So the first permanent retail shops they had ever encountered were brought by the Indians in like fucking early 1900s. But they invented every goddamn thing.
The Asians in East Africa were also the first to import and sell cereal. They served as middlemen who bought the African farmers' produce for cash on the spot and assumed responsibility for its marketing.
Hit the like button, man. Support the channel on this Friday, man. Let's get like 10 people to take the $5 challenge, man, to support the channel. This good old history lesson that you ain't gonna get nowhere, man. You know goddamn well you ain't gonna get the good history lesson nowhere, man. I don't even know this shit. I'm learning this shit. So I know the fuck you don't know that shit.
While there were some European wholesalers, Indians conducted the bulk of the retail trade with African natives. They transformed East Africa from a largely subsistence and barter economy into a money economy. Taxes were paid in kind in Uganda until the turn of the century, but were paid thereafter in money, rupees. A young Winston Churchill, after touring Africa, wrote of the Indian trader in Africa who was penetrating and maintaining himself in all sorts of places to which no white man would go. A 1905 report in Kenya declared that fully 80% of the present capital and business energy of the country is Indian. A 1919 report in Kenya
This is mind blowing, man. The Indians owned 80% of the business of the goddamn motion in Africa 100 years ago.
Damn.
Hang on, hang
Yo,
on. Does
that's
that
like a
hang on? Does that cover baby oil? Because Diddy might have a stake in that.
Uh, but yeah, man. I mean, that's crazy, man. You know.
it's very telling that what they say with history repeats itself.
They were getting
This is
colonized by the people that got colonized.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the Indians came through, built the railroad. They needed a railroad, so the Indians came through and built it for them. And then while the Indians was there building the railroad, the other Indians came to sell shit to the people working on the railroad, and it was done after. it was
Yo.
it was a
So
wrap.
Indians been pimping niggas for centuries.
To which no white man would go. A 1905 report in Kenya declared that fully 80% of the present capital and business energy of the country is Indian. A 1919 report in Kenya declared that the Indians were firmly established in all the leading towns and districts. Indians collected and purchased virtually all the cotton crop in Uganda, and by
Wow.
1919 had built 17 cotton gins there.
God
Wow,
damn.
they all the cotton, all of it.
See, they took that shit and they said, "Look, we got our foot in here. Like we gonna put this shit all the way on these neck."
Also, too, the things they do, Negroes can't do that shit. Like Negroes can't do that. They couldn't. They couldn't have done. It's not like they stopped us from doing it. We couldn't have did that. If we would have built, we'd have built cotton gins. We would have had
Well,
stores and shit.
hang on. They said, hang on, they bought the cotton gin. The cotton gin was built in America, if I'm not mistaken.
No, but you still have to build one though.
You don't have
It
to.
ain't just one
You don't,
cotton
no,
gin. You
hey, no,
gotta
no, no, no,
write
no,
it.
no, no,
It
no.
ain't
Hang
just
on,
one
bro.
cotton gin that
Hang on, bro.
they
No,
pass
no, no.
around.
You buy it. You buy it from the guy. The guy comes over. He builds it for you, bro. That's how it works. No,
Oh
real
man.
talk. Like if you buy some shit, for your house, motherfuckers, they're gonna come over there and they're gonna install it for you.
Man, what you think they bought the cotton gin from Sears, man? Come on, man. What you talking about, man? What are you talking about?
Declared that fully
What I'm talking
80%
about
of the
is
present capital and business
Nah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
energy of the country is Indian. A 1919 report in Kenya declared that the Indians were firmly established in all the leading towns and districts. Indians collected and purchased virtually all the cotton crop in Uganda, and by 1919 had built 17 cotton gins there. They also built flour mills in Kenya, and one Indian trader alone exported 20 tons of Kenyan maize. As late as 1948, Indians owned about 90% of all cotton gins in Uganda. Numerous contemporary observers commented that Europeans simply could not compete with the small Indian trader, either in the city or in the bush. Throughout East Africa, the Indian operated on a very small profit margin, lived extremely cheaply, took the risks of selling on credit, and worked long hours in remote places under what would be impossible conditions for Europeans. He was, in short, performing an economic function which no one else was available to perform, a point also noted by various contemporary observers. A British observer in the 1920s commented on the Indians driving their trucks, often without lights, without brakes, apparently without tires, and with an engine which looks like conking out at any moment, pushing trade through the most inaccessible places. Most Indians in Uganda were and remained small retailers, petty money lenders, and the like. But Indians were also disproportionately represented among the few large-scale entrepreneurs of the country. Two large Indian conglomerates, Madhvani and Company and Mehta Sons, were based on sugar production, but the former also spread out to encompass cornmeal, soap, margarine, beer, glass, and other products. while the latter included tea, iron, engineering products, and electrical equipment among their products. Both firms began in Uganda cotton production and spread across international boundaries as well as across industrial fields. There were no African entrepreneurs of comparable scope or magnitude. While Indian business
Sounds familiar. Indians setting up businesses all in some neighborhoods and areas populated by mostly sons, and the Sun Man ain't doing nothing like that.
It's the same as Philadelphia. It's the same as DC.
Yep.
It's the same as anywhere you go. Detroit, fucking goddamn Memphis, wherever you go, it's this. This is what we see when we do the stories. And they talking to the owner of the gas station when a nigga got shot, or the owner of the liquor store when some nigga got shot. Who own that shit? Like it's the same shit.
Always. It's
Always 100%.
it's not like it's 60-40, 70-30. It's like 100% of the time. Wherever you go.
Yep. And like I said, we can't do that stuff, man. But look, salute to Midlife Reset, man. Shout out to Midlife Reset. He says, 1952 Dallas, Texas. My dad was hanging out with a group of 10, 12-year-old kids, 10 to 12-year-old kids from the street. And they were admiring a sod yard. And the only son kid in the group said, let's steal the yard and mint it. Nothing changed. Yeah, man. That's what we're good at. We do what we're good at. Sod, it's like grass. You know how like you see the grass like rolled up in the little rolls.
Oh, sod. Okay.
Yeah. This right here, I believe it's 100%. Yeah, man. Shout out to Midlife Reset. In the building, man, coming through once again. Midlife Reset.
Somebody will hear this comment and think you just trying to like down black people, but I completely believe this 100%.
That little 10-year-old would have been me, man. I stole a lot when I was younger, man.
Man, I stole so much. Oh my god, I was a motherfucking thief, dog.
Yeah, man. Like this natural shit, man. People do what they're good at, man. If you see a group of people doing something, they're probably good at it.
National boundaries as well as across industrial fields. There were no African entrepreneurs of comparable scope or magnitude. While Indian business and financial relations with Africa go back for centuries, and many Indian businessmen in Africa have had family, trading, and banking relations with India, the wealthy Indian businessmen of Africa were not simply people who transferred their wealth from India. Virtually all the wealthy Indian businessmen in Africa made their fortunes in Africa, usually from humble beginnings, sometimes as indentured laborers. One of the earliest business magnates on the
So them motherfuckers came over there as indentured servants and shit, and on the African continent and rose to be a wealthy. Well, not one nigga could, not one.
Damn.
Hey, that's an indictment, man. That's an indictment.
Times as indentured laborers. One of the earliest business magnates on the African mainland was Alidina Visram, who rose from a small caravan trader to develop a business empire with more than 30 branches in East Africa, stretching from Dar es Salaam in Tanganyika to the Kenyan port of Mombasa, and across hundreds of miles to Uganda's port of Entebbe on Lake Victoria. He also had land investments in almost every town developing in early Kenya and Uganda, a fleet of sailing vessels on Lake Victoria, and he pioneered in cart transport services on land as well. That this was not merely self-perpetuating wealth was underscored by the future of this financial empire after his death. 2 generations later, the firm was bankrupt, with his family appealing to the government for financial aid. Most Indians in Uganda were nowhere near the economic levels of the Matbanis or the Metas, though they were somewhat more prosperous than the indigenous Africans. Still, about half the Indians in Uganda owned their own businesses. The enormous economic role of Indians in transforming the economies of East Africa is all the more remarkable because of their relatively small number in proportion to the total populations of those countries. At the peak of their population size in Uganda in the late 1960s, Indians, Pakistanis, and Goans together added up to fewer than 100,000 people in a nation of more than 8 million. They were just over 1% of the population.
1% of the population was all of the shop owners, all of the businessmen, all of the exporters, all of it. All of the people making the economy run came from
You
1%
ever,
of the population.
you ever heard Son say, "Man, we gotta all come together and make this great black nation, so that we can start nation building and raising our family." Like, dog, you don't need to do all that.
Nah, we don't.
You don't have to fucking organize all one
Everybody.
point whatever fucking billion sun people on the planet to build something.
Well, maybe you do though. Maybe you do. Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe it'll take all of us to get a store, fucking popping.
To give us a story.
Yeah, get a storefront, all of us together. I mean, think about it. I mean, that probably is the reason why niggas subconsciously say that. Because we listen. This is an indictment. This is an indictment. This is Thomas Sowell, a black man. And Uganda is in the heart of Africa. Uganda is not on the coast. Uganda is in the heart of Africa. That shit is deep in Africa, in the inland.
The Asian population was of course much smaller in the earlier years, though rapidly growing, both through natural increase and by immigration, much of it by the successive bringing over of family members by those already settled in Africa. As of the early 1920s, there were between 5,000 and 6,000 Asians in Uganda. This more than doubled in a decade, and after World War II, there were 35,000 in 1948, growing to about 63,000 by 1956. As with the Chinese, the Jews, and other middleman minorities around the world, the economic contributions and success of the Indians in Africa have been in sharp contrast with the social and political opposition they have encountered. European settlers, who generally arrived in Uganda after the Indians, were their earliest and most vocal critics. During World War I, Europeans were able to get government controls and restrictions on the cotton industry introduced, with the net effect of benefiting Europeans who were having difficulties competing with the Indians. However, anti-Asian feeling has generally been less in Uganda than in Kenya. Nevertheless, such antagonism grew as the passing years saw the emergence of small native African businessmen and some educated Africans in Uganda, both of whom aspired to positions in the economy and in the civil service already held by Indians. These African groups tended to be anti-Indian in outlook and to try to turn other Africans against the Indians. As of 19...
So niggas was hating. Niggas was hating.
Them booty scratches was in they fifis. Got goddamn Apu and Ramesh owning all that shit.
Africans against the Indians. As of 1952, there were more than twice as many African traders as Indian traders in Uganda, but non-African traders, mostly Indians, did an estimated 3 times as much business as the Africans. This was despite governmental regulations which hampered non-Africans from setting up shops in some locations. At the same time, Indians owned approximately 90% of the cotton gins in Uganda, many purchased from Europeans in financial trouble between the 2 world wars. Most of the cotton produced in Uganda was sent to Bombay. All 34 cottonseed oil mills in Uganda were also owned by Indians. More than 3/4 of all factories in Uganda were likewise owned by Indians. In government employment, however, Indians were very much a minority. Europeans dominated the senior civil service, and Africans dominated the junior civil service, with Indians being less than 1/5 of the latter. The numerical...
That's insane, man. This shit is mind blowing. Listen to this shit.
More than 3/4 of all factories in Uganda were likewise owned by Indians. In government employment, however, Indians were very much a minority. Europeans dominated the senior civil service, and Africans.
So even when the shit Indians didn't dominate, white man dominated.
If it wasn't an Indian, it was a white man. Goddamn.
Jeez.
Dominated the junior civil service, with Indians being less than 1/5 of the latter. The numerical predominance of African traders may have had little economic significance, but it provided political force to anti-Indian feelings. High rates of business failures among the African traders fed their resentment of the Indians, whose own high failure rates in the past were seldom remembered. After the mid-1950s, open hostility to Indian traders spread among Africans, sometimes expressed in destruction and looting. The first major anti-Indian trade boycott in East Africa took place in Uganda in 1959, lasting 7 months, and involved race riots and the burning down of the farms of those African peasants who did not adhere to the boycott of the Indians.
Man, these niggas said, fuck competing. We about to start looting, nigga.
Wow. Same type of behavior.
I guarantee you.
Of what was to come in the next.
I guarantee you, these niggas was like, man, it gotta be some sort of like that. It's colonialism. That's why these niggas own everything and having all these positions of power. It's colonialism. We gotta get these people out of here so we can build our own great black nation.
Yup. This shit is crazy, man. This is an indictment, man.
The farms of those African peasants who did not adhere to the boycott of the Indians. It was a foretaste of what was to come in the next decade. These and other anti-Asian outbursts in the years preceding Uganda's independence in 1962 left the Indian population ambiguous as to their future in general and their immediate citizenship decisions in particular. They could apply for Ugandan citizenship or seek various forms of British protection or remain stateless. About 30,000 Asians applied for Ugandan citizenship under the 1962 Constitution, but years later, more than half their applications were still pending. Uganda's 1967 Constitution included a grandfather clause under which even native-born people could become citizens only if one of their parents or grandparents had been citizens, clearly an obstacle created to block Indians from achieving citizenship. At the same time, restrictions on non-citizens in government employment and in the private economy were used to Africanize Uganda in accordance with prevailing post-independence ideology. The number of Asians in Uganda's civil service declined from about 2,000 in 1961 to about 1,300 by 1968, even though the bureaucracy itself was growing rapidly. Restrictions were also placed on how much money emigrants could take out of the country with them. Government jobs were particularly prized. They paid substantially more than the average wage in private industry. In both sectors, however, Asians earned several times the income of Africans, even after Ugandan independence, though much less than Europeans earned. Still, there were far more Asians than Europeans, so that more job opportunities for Africans were to be had by displacing Asians. Many of the Asians also had no place to go and no government to protect them, so that they were an easier target. In the days when India was a colony of Great Britain, the British colonial government in India did not hesitate to intervene on behalf of Indians in Africa. But after India's independence, its government's international role as a leader in Third World politics made India unwilling to offend African or other Third World governments by championing the rights of Indians in these countries. Indians in Uganda became pawns in political games, domestic and international. The final tragedy for Indians in Uganda came with the rise to power of Idi Amin. His grossness and butchery were imposed on Ugandans by force, but much of the rest of the world, and especially African leaders, shared a certain complicity for their good-natured tolerance of Amin as an anti-colonialist who could twist the nose of whites. As one journalist wrote, "The world chuckled, Africans applauded, and Ugandans died, often at the rate of 100 to 150 a day." Amin
What?
directed a special venom toward the Asians. He accused
Everything you heard about Idi Amin was true, man.
God damn.
And he
He was
wasn't the
bad
only
dude.
one.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one. He was
Oh,
one of the Robert Mugabe. You got Mugabe. You got all of them. It's all of those. It's like dozens of black dictators that were brutal. I'm talking about because you in order to run a black country, you gotta. I mean, let's be honest, man. You got two things working. First off, these guys are usually psychopaths, and secondly, in order to keep black people in line, you got to be brutal.
damn. So wait,
them, among other things, of both
so this was like an ethnic cleansing thing. It was like, yo, we gotta get these niggas out of here.
It usually is.
Nah, he was killing his own people. They were killing 150 Ugandans a day.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you said Indians, my bad.
often at the rate of 100 to 150 a day. Amin directed a special venom toward the Asians. He accused them, among other things, of both overpricing and undercutting, and warned of dire consequences if they did not collectively mend their ways. In August 1972, he ordered 50,000 Asians expelled, citizens and non-citizens alike, and severely limited how much money, £55, they could take with them. The Asian population of Uganda, which had been 96,000 in 1968, was estimated at only 1,000 at the end of 1972.
Oh shit.
Many landed destitute in England or in whatever other countries would take them.
Damn.
The economic role of the Indians in Uganda can perhaps best be appreciated by considering what happened after they left. The economy collapsed. The Asian shops were
Yo, these
It was all
niggas
based
have
on one man.
like these niggas. I can't.
Once they left, we gotta get rid of all these Indians, man, so that we can, because they doing all the business, man. We get rid of them, man. Now we can run all the shops and shit, do all the
But
shit they've been holding us back from doing.
like sons say this shit, and I guarantee you, this shit is a complete shithole. They didn't rebuild any of this shit. They didn't replace any of the shit that these Indians were doing. They just got them out the paint for what? Because they was Indian. Like this some hating ass shit, bro.
Envy.
Wow.
were often simply turned over to Amin's favorites, who sold everything and then closed them down. The confiscated wealth was not simply
So they basically just took the Indians left their businesses there. The Africans came and sold all the shit that the Indians left, and they just closed the business there.
or in whatever other countries would take them. The economic role of the Indians in Uganda can perhaps best be appreciated by considering what happened after they left. The economy collapsed. The Asian shops were often simply turned over to Amin's favorites, who sold everything and then closed them down. The confiscated wealth was not simply redistributed. The total wealth of the country was diminished. In agriculture, the Asians' coffee and tea plantations, which required constant care, were neglected after their departure and became breeding grounds for deadly tsetse flies. Ugandan soldiers who smuggled the coffee across Uganda and into Kenya helped spread sleeping sickness and make it a major health hazard in the region again. As of 1972, at least 35% of Uganda's national output was produced by Asians, with some estimates ranging to more than half. 20 years after the expulsions of the Asians from Uganda, the economy still had not recovered from the havoc created by those expulsions. According to the head of Uganda's own Chamber of Commerce, most of the Africans who took over the running of former Asian businesses were untrained and became business failures. With cracked and crumbling streets in the capital city of Kampala, and with half-completed construction sites still untouched since 1972, economic desperation and pressure from the World Bank and other Western aid donors led the Ugandan government to seek the return of Asian businessmen. Efforts to attract these exiled businessmen have centered on the restoration of the thousands of confiscated properties belonging to them. Yet relatively few of the Indians and Pakistanis returned from abroad to reclaim their businesses. The hostile environment of Uganda made returning there an unattractive option. Despite the economic losses suffered by Ugandans as a result of the expulsions of the Asians, resentments against Indians and Pakistanis remained high. In addition to this more or less spontaneous animosity, there was organized opposition to the return of the Asians by those Africans who had taken over their businesses. The Uganda African Trade Movement issued a public statement plainly stating that its members intend to wage an atrocious war everywhere in Uganda on any Asian returnee. Lest there be any doubt, the statement continued, "We intend to harm, maim, cause them a lot of suffering, even killing them in the most despicable way ever, if they don't leave our land and country immediately." As in so many other settings, economic productivity has provoked political antagonism, especially in the case of middleman minorities.
Where's Wicked when you need him?
This sound like some REM sleep too, man.
All over the world, species clash in
Nicked
nature's
out.
savage battle of
Yeah. I tried this shit last time, man.
on land, under the sea, and in the air. All are locked in deadly conflict. Animals fight tooth and claw to win food,
wake up!
territory, and rights to the bloodline. From Africa to Asia, there are no rules. This is Animal Fight Night.
Animal Fight.
Chicken!
It's spring, and this grizzly is emerging from hibernation, and he's bad news. A large standing grizzly can top 8 feet tall and weigh in at around 1,500 pounds. Muscles in his shoulders, back, and buttocks make him 5 times strong.
Oh man. So yeah, man. Uganda, man. Ugandans, man.
Yeah. So they kicked the Indians out, and then they wanted them to come back. Like what? Yo, what the fuck is wrong with niggas, man?
They needed them to come back.
Yeah. Insane, man. It's insane. Like, I mean, it's literally like it takes your breath away. They didn't even run shit in Africa. It makes me think about when what's your face said, weird. Hey, this one, man. That shit he said, it basically like.
Oh yeah, this nigga a prophet, man.
Yeah.
Here, and I'm not going to be much longer with y'all. I understand we need to move beyond color. I'm not about that, but y'all raised it. If you start it, I'll end it for you. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. But we got a problem. Black people got a problem. Now we can move to color blindness and always look at the man by the content of his character, never the color of his skin. I'm down for that. You get my vote. Yay and amen. I'm for that. But before we get there, we need to hear some truth. Black people and white folk. Black people got a problem. And it's a God problem. When black people see the world, I don't care. You can train them. You can train a black man to be a physician. You can train him to be an astrophysicist. You can train him to be a lawyer, but you can't train him to understand the world. He doesn't know. I'm telling you. There's not 2 cents worth of difference between a mass murderer. There's not 2 cents of difference between a petty thief that's locked away in prison than a black doctor when it comes to understanding the world. Listen, you listen to me. We got to deal with this. And we need to begin to acknowledge it, talk about it, ask God to help us, because only God can help black people where they are. Black people had Africa, that big old continent over there. They never built one boat that was seaworthy. Not one. There's not one monument in Africa, in all of Africa. I know you're talking about Egypt. Egypt is not Africa. There are no great cities that were built. Even before the first colonization of white people coming to the shores of Africa or the slave ships, black men built nothing. No sewer system, no houses above one level, and none of them made out of stone, all of them made out of grass and wood. Black men, before the white man ever got to Africa, the worst thing that could ever happen to South Africa was when they gave it to Nelson Mandela and black folk. That was a great nation. Now, notwithstanding apartheid was wrong, we all know it's wrong. I'm against it. There should have been some other resolution, though, than turning it over to Nelson Mandela. Disease, AIDS, and crime is running wild in Johannesburg. They're killing one another over there. They're dying of sickness. The government is mismanaged. The people who ran the nation are now leaving the nation because black folk don't know how to run no nation. They don't know how, and we need to admit it. I know you don't like it, but you need to stop shucking and jiving. Problem. Nigeria produces oil every year, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a problem. You talk about the Hutus and the Tutsis. Look what's going on in Zimbabwe now with Mugabe. We got a problem, black folk. And forget about Zimbabwe and South Africa, Nigeria. Look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. And the only person going to ever help us get out of the situation is going to be God. There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind. He does not understand the world. He doesn't. I don't care if he learned medicine. He doesn't understand the world. He can't even hold on to Harlem. When he was here, he moved out. We got to talk to the Lord. People, we got to talk to God. And black women, Shirley Chisholm, Harriet Tubman, Coretta King, one of her boys. Yeah, okay, then we got a black president. But you black women, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all gonna let that white woman, what's wrong with you black women voting for Barack? Don't you understand? It should have been a black room if you're gonna have a black president. What's wrong with you? Y'all ain't got no sense, you black women. Your men treat you like the dogs, like your dogs. They walk all over you. They make you pay the bills at home, and then the preachers pimp you in the churches and make you pay the bills. Y'all crazy black women buying these black men private jets, the tune of $50 million for a nigga to ride around in a private jet. And you talk about, look at our pastor. What's wrong with y'all women? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And what's wrong with a black man that would take that kind of money out of a poor neighborhood and buy himself a private jet? What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, black women? What's wrong with you voting for Barack Obama? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. Black people, let me tell y'all something. If you don't ever hear me say preach again, they can kill me tomorrow. Let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga ain't got no sense. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything. The most the black people have ever done, they did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing.
God damn. That nigga caught the Holy Ghost that day. Shit. Holy shit. And God told that nigga, man, you keep this. God said, keep that shit funky with these niggas right today, man.
God spoke through him.
Yeah, he said, man, these niggas think this shit is a game. Drop some fire on these niggas today.
But right now, God is thinking like, man, ain't shit I could do about this one. Shit, and don't put this on me.
We God proof, man.
Yo, I was hearing one of the Caitlyn videos, right?
Right.
And I resent what you said about hip hop in the arena, bro. I'm a hip hop aficionado, right? And I happen to think that the contribution, the enrichment that hip hop gives our society can't be overstated, right? My little song was with that shit, don't play around. Got that chopper, got that K100 rounds.
Rest in peace to Fredo, man.
Man, R.I.P. Fredo, bro.
What
So
about
I appreciate what
Coolio?
you said. But jokes aside, like, man, you're 110. The idea that when you said it, how these glider parents are taking their fucking kids and their kids gotta sit through that shit. And then they gotta sit through the whole, gliders suck. Gliders are racist shit. It's unbelievable. I wouldn't say my king.
Yeah, listen, man. You on Burritos are doing a lot. Y'all are a lot of football fans like crazy, man. If you look in the crowd at a football game,
Oh yeah, yeah. Look. Hell yeah, I agree. But my thing about that is like I told you before with the Bears, DJ Moore. Like if I want to see a son man go hard running like that, man, I'll join the pig force and chase one of these clowns. If I want to see a son man run and duck.
yeah, man. Yeah, it's the same. What did you think about the Indians in Uganda?
I mean, look, I could have literally shot in the dark and guessed that. I'm sure it's not the only place in Africa that had that happen to him, right? I mean, DNA, and again, I'll repeat it. The whole DNA argument it's crude and it's off-putting because that's what we've been drilled against that, right? But that's yet another scenario where DNA is manifesting itself in every way, from everybody.
Yeah, yeah, man. So what do you think about the fact that when they kicked the Indians out, the economy instantly collapsed?
I mean, I'm surprised it didn't collapse sooner.
That's
Is
fair.
well, what I didn't catch is are they coming back at all, or some of them are coming back, or
Yeah, what did I fell asleep. What happened? What did they say? What did they say?
do y'all know? KB, are the Tigers coming back, or they're apprehensive, or
I'm not sure. I mean,
what?
1% is you wouldn't take that
Yeah.
many people to go back.
Well, look, again, just taking a DNA educated guess, right? They're gonna go back, right? They're gonna go back.
They probably already been back. They probably came back a few years after that. Because
Cause look,
you can't have a collapsed economy. You have to have an economy.
yeah, cause I mean, look at Blackistan here, I agree. Every time I see one of these tigers or salmon in Blackistan, you know, just navigating and just figuring it out and the conditions that they gotta figure it out in, because there's money to be made, right? So
Right.
I don't know that the burritos are as, I mean, it's happening. I don't think we're as willing to fucking open up shop and deal with that fucking bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, but
Yeah.
again, you don't really see. Oh, we will open up a grocery store, but it's kind of hard to secure a grocery store like you could secure a liquor store. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I mean, again, the DNA argument is a compelling one, and it's look, we don't make I don't make the rules. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
No doubt. I mean, it expresses itself everywhere. Like it wasn't that some Sun men was doing. All of the fucking people doing having motion was Indians, man. All of they had to change the laws. They had to say you had to have like both your parents from Uganda to get a job in the government or to start a business. They had to change the laws so that sons could have a foothold in the business world over there.
Yeah, they couldn't compete.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course. Even here again, yet again, here in these Black stamp provinces, the sun man they be giving the Tigers hell. The as far as like them operating and demanding shit and they, like I heard the damnedest thing today. I forget what news segment it was, right? But it was from here, and some sister said some shit about they don't love us. Look what they feed us. What they feed you? What are you, a baby?
Shit.
Something wrong with her mind.
Yeah, man.
But that's what the Suns want. Suns ain't trying to eat salads and fucking mangoes and water.
If the Tigers fold, right? If the Sandman and they're not gonna fold. But if the Sandman or Tigers fold and cave into that, oh, we're gonna bring y'all fruits and vegetables, they're gonna go out of business before they fucking you could say Blackish fan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Listen, Uganda's not on the coast. Uganda's in the heart of Africa. Ugandans are pitch black. These Indians went in there and just took over, not by force, just took over by doing something that the Africans couldn't do.
They just they
Opening up
pulled their
storefront.
they pulled their sleeves up and got to work. And
Right.
them
And look,
niggas,
look, I'm fully aware, fully aware that any hotep out here listening to me, right, with my accent and all, yo sé que tengo un acento fuerte, ¿verdad? I understand it
Mhm.
hurts. I understand it and I feel you, bro. However, don't be mad. Don't shoot the messenger, son.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Wicked. As soon as they hear your accent, they gonna be like, "Oh no, this nigga, he has no business speaking on
Yeah,
FBA business."
yeah. Why you
But
talking about black people business?
but not only that, next time, but the shit I'm saying is real. At least it's not. Look, they would like to hear me talk if I was like bending over backwards for them. You know what I'm saying? Then they would be like, "Oh yeah, preach, come, Brito."
Oh yeah,
Like,
you can
oh,
do that all day.
oh man, the contribute like just praising the brothers. Oh man, everybody wants to be a brother. Everybody
Yeah,
wants to. Everybody wants to sag their jeans all like a motherfucker. Everybody wants to pretend like they're out here shooting some man. So everybody want to be a brother till it's time to be a brother. right? They will love me doing that shit. But so again, I apologize if it makes your stomach turn, if it hurts your chest. You know, I don't have a problem with some people at all. I have a problem with these motherfuckers destroying civil society, bro. And that includes the Umbritos, especially the Umbritos, bro. Because you know why the Umbritos especially act? Because they're the ones closest to my community, to our children, to my people. Except the Sun man, the Sun kids that keep sneaking out of their fucking shithole neighborhoods and coming and fucking up ours. But I get it. DNA manifesting, chief. I know.
Yeah, man. Salute to midlife reset. He said, "What's your thoughts on South Africa, killing the white farmers and apartheid, etc.? Same thing gonna happen if they somehow it's gonna happen in Rhodesia. When you get rid of the white people or you get rid of the people that are doing something, the black folk can't pick it up and they can't take the hand off. They can't take the baton. Yeah, black folk can't take the baton. So if any group of people is doing anything and black people get rid of them, that thing is just gonna be a fucking vacant hole. And if it's the economy, the fucking economy gonna collapse. If it's a goddamn trade, they're gonna have to bring somebody else in, another group in to do that shit.
Yeah, but some people they're gonna kick you the fuck out. Well, first they're gonna blame you for everything, then they're gonna kick you the fuck out. Then anything that you built, because they can't maintain it in any way, shape, or form, they're just gonna figure out some way to like profit off it. And then
Well, no,
Shit.
to be fair to some people though, I mean, it is a lot of work, man. It's hard, man. It is to have to like to create it and then maintain it. I know it rolls off the tongue, create, maintain, but it's a lot of work.
but apparently, to some people, like some people can do this shit. It shouldn't be hard. Like that. That argument makes sense if you
Yeah.
coming from my perspective. I'm like, yeah, this shit is gonna be hard for niggas because niggas aren't naturally built to do shit like that.
Well, you know,
But
it's saddening because I keep hearing how some people created this country or some shit and they invented everything. So I mean, mad thing, bro.
yeah, if some people so
Well,
built
here's a
to run
question.
all this shit and build, why the fuck they can't seem to do it wherever the fuck they're at? Like
You
that's
think you think the gliders taught them how to use it or not?
wait, I didn't hear you, KB.
Yeah,
You
what?
think the
What the fuck?
you think the gliders taught the Sun people how to use everything?
Oh shit! I have no idea what you said, man.
Do I think the gliders what?
Taught the Sun people.
Do, do I think they taught to some people? I mean, they, gliders taught some people probably most of the shit we know today. Yeah, probably 99% of the shit we know we got from gliders.
Yo, they tried to teach us a lot of shit we can't get. Like we still got the highest illiteracy rate, the lowest proficiency in math. We, like we still at the bottom of everything when it comes to learning. In schools. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That's the best. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah,
Some people are gonna just, we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna,
They do
our
fine, man.
DNA is going to express.
Yeah,
yeah,
Chief, they do fighting in this nation. Generally speaking, they do. You know what I mean? They exist. They have kids, family, grandma's cooking, all that good shit, that human shit, right? So it is
Right.
what it is. They should play to their strengths, man. They have them, right? And they're people too. Obviously, right? The only thing that just is fucking like a fucking root canal. Like getting a root canal is we're just allowing them to victimize everybody, and then they get the right to claim the victimhood. Like, oh, this little song where he put a gun to this lady's face on her way to work because there's no investment in his neighborhood, in his school. That's not right, chief. That's like a double victimization, bro.
Yeah,
Like
man.
This lady had a gun put in her face. That's fucked up. Now, second, she gotta hear like, oh well, it's not really his fault because he was a little song word. Like, oh come on, man. Am I wrong,
She
chief? What
got
did
a,
I say?
but then she believes it.
She
Like,
believes it. I was about to say
yeah,
that, bro. I was about to say that. She not only does she willingly believe, people generally believe that because it just feels right. It's like the Christian thing, right? And but I just what did I say that was wrong? I mean,
nothing.
it's frustrating and to just hear. Look. If I want to hear about like racism and how much the police suck, I don't want to watch the fucking a football game for that. I'll watch my mayor. I'll watch my politicians speak for that. All right. I watch the news for that. I don't want to hear everywhere I fucking turn, except apparently here the opposite. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just here patiently waiting for the moment when gliders say, you know what, we're done. We're done like throwing money into this money pit, and we're done entertaining the sisters.
I ain't gonna lie. If gliders ain't fed up with this shit by now, I
Yeah,
don't see the timeline when they're gonna be like, yeah, y'all niggas, like we're done with all this. This shit been going on for decades. Niggas been doing the most heinous shit forever. They trying to they're trying to ban gliders from speaking their mind and shit like that.
Exactly.
Like I don't.
Like like
To
like he
me,
go
the bandwidth gliders have for this shit,
right.
it seems to have no end.
No.
Like if I if I honestly thought this shit was gonna change, I would say it, but I don't think it is.
Yeah. I mean, look, we get to the point in human evolution where we're like time traveling, right? Or whatever the fuck that looks like. And you have these little song where it's time traveling on the apps and sliding somehow. Whatever
Yeah.
that looks like.
Yep.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be forever, bro. But we at the very least might as well put away the motherfuckers that because I don't think we could stop them from like the shittiest son men with the shittiest sisters from reproducing because
Yeah.
they got that on lock. But we could try to put away the motherfuckers that are dangerous at the least at the least for some people's sake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To me, that's probably gonna be the most you could do. Like at least throwing the niggas that's out here going crazy. At least punish them for their crimes.
Yeah, man,
But
I love that one prison in Russia act that we saw here, where the inmates can't even stand up. They
that
have
nigga,
to like,
that nigga snoring.
oh, he's out again. It's fine. Yeah, I'm actually about to roll out myself, guys, but I did want to say to the Act Nation and to everybody, I wanted to say to y'all, man, I'm gonna give y'all a spoiler alert for tomorrow's show, right?
Oh, man.
Gunmen violently victimizing people. Spoiler alert. I'll see y'all
in
later.
Chicago.
Oh wait,
In
yo,
in the whole world, in the United States of America, at least.
Wiggy,
Yo,
you called him?
you want me to call him? Yeah, let me
Yeah, this
call him. Let me
nigga
call him.
out
Hold
like a
on.
light. God damn.
All right, let me call him.
I thought he was gonna call a show.
Who, Chief or no? I wasn't gonna do that. Oh, let me call him.
Yo, let me go ahead and give you some rest, man. Any final thoughts, man?
Oh man,
Can can I get a something's wrong with his mind?
Yo, real quick before you do it, let me throw this out for you. I just gave the nation a spoiler alert for tomorrow's channel. Like, Gunman violently victimizing people. Doses.
Yes.
Salute. Rebel Thunder says, take a look at Burkina Faso. There is hope. Well, we'll look at Burkina Faso. We'll look at that next time, man. Salute to everybody out there. Great show. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here.